hyperdrive now.
We are racing for the planet. At extreme locations. Where equality is true. And a legacy is left. We pioneer new technologies. And we push them to the limit. Extreme E is back.
Hello and welcome to Season 4 of Extreme E. Get ready for the toughest off-road racing on the planet, starting here at the Desert X Prix in Saudi Arabia.
This year sees a grid packed full of racing stars, with one female and one male driver per team, going wheel to wheel in some of the most spectacular locations around the globe.
But this is more than just racing. This is racing for a better future. The all-electric Odyssey cars are now in their 4th season, and so far we've travelled from the ice sheets of Greenland to the deserts of Chile, shining a spotlight on the environmental issues facing the planet.
Finding solutions is a founding principle of Extreme E. The paddock is a hotbed of technical innovation, and the science committee, comprised of leading experts, pioneer the legacy programme to leave a lasting difference.
I'm Jenny Gow, and alongside me is Andrew Coley, with Laura Winter reporting from the paddock.
Let's take a look then at where we're heading for Season 4. We start down in Saudi Arabia, and you can see in Season 1 and Season 2 it was Rosberg X Racing that won the first races here, and I have to say they won the first race yesterday, round 1. Of course, double headers at each of our 5 venues, so plenty of racing still to come. TBC for the 13th and 14th of July. I think we're going to be in Europe. There's a couple of options on the table. And then we head down to Sardinia, which has been a staple of this series since Season 1, and a happy hunting ground for Rosberg X Racing again, as you can see. Yesterday, I think they took their 9th out of 21 victories, the 21 rounds we've ever held. They've won nearly half of them. Double champions, of course. They won yesterday. Can anybody stop them winning again today? Sardinia for another double header, and then we finish off the season at a brand new venue, Phoenix, Arizona, USA. The theme there will be Endangered Rivers. Dry, rocky terrain. Should be fantastic fun to decide our 4th champions. Now, yesterday, told you already roughly what happened. RXR in an epic battle with McLaren. An incredible move by Matthias Ekstrom in turn 1. He was passed by Christopherson. They handed over to the female drivers, who went at it for the entire 2 laps. Laura caught up with Michaela and Christina after their epic fight last night.
As the sun sets here in the desert, I've only just about caught my breath after that epic final between these two standing alongside me for the win. Just 0.3 seconds or so in it, one of the closest we've ever seen. Christina, I'll come to you first. You got the move done at one point. You were all over the back of the car, even making contact at one point. What was going through your mind?
Yeah, it was close. It was a nice battle. I know Michaela is a good driver, and also she closed very good all the doors, and I knew that it's going to be very difficult, but finally I could overtake, and then she moves very well in the next corner. But you know, at the finish, I think it's good to see 2 girls battling like this. For this series, it's very nice to see each other, and also we are good friends, and this is the most important, and hopefully we can see more things like this.
I absolutely agree with you. It was incredible to see. Michaela, what was going through your mind trying to defend this lead that Johan had given to you?
Well, like Christina said, I mean, it was a great battle. And I mean, I know Christina is a very quick driver, so I knew I had to fight to try to keep her behind. I was pushing a lot, made a little bit sideways, and then the move came from Christina. I was like, I don't want to lose this race. So then I managed to get a really good run up the hill. But I think, you know, it was 1-1. It was a good overtake, and I'm happy to do the overtake. And like Christina says, I mean, this is what Extreme is all about, to highlighting that us female drivers can definitely be at the top level of motorsport and showcase what we can do. So it was great racing, and looking forward to tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely. And I must say, we've been so caught up in the new season of Extreme. Congratulations to you as well. Dakar Rally Champion, to that brilliant win there. You're obviously getting very accustomed to driving on sand. What of tomorrow?
Yeah, we're looking forward for tomorrow and try to push a little bit more. For sure, it's quite similar, the surface and Dakar, but I am not used to drive with another driver, so I need to learn a little bit more about this, and hopefully tomorrow we can do better.
Michele, quickly then, your thoughts ahead of tomorrow. You're lining up alongside each other, by the way, in your first race.
Yeah, we don't know who starts though.
Not yet,
but we'll see. We'll see. No, but like Christina says, I mean, it's tight out there. It's a tough track, and I mean, really good drivers. So just keep on focusing, try to improve what we can do, and yeah, do the best we can do tomorrow.
Thank you both so much. Congratulations, and thank you for a brilliant, brilliant battle tonight.
Thank you.
Time for the action to get underway with qualifying for round 2. Q1 saw Travis Pastrana in the very first race up against 3 of the best female drivers in Extreme E. He used his Inoa Hyperdrive very well indeed on the run to the first corner, shut the door on everyone. Molly Taylor tried the Ekstrom line from yesterday, but got caught up behind Gutierrez in the McLaren. Come the switch, Pastrana was coming in hot, but unfortunately, Gray Ledbetter left the switch zone slightly earlier. Look at this, Pastrana not quite clear of that area. She went early, and that would mean that the team would get a penalty which would drop them down the order. She didn't know that at the time, had a fantastic battle with double Extreme E champion Johan Kristoffersson, who did manage to get past in the end. Kristoffersson wins. Great start for RXR after their win yesterday.
Well done, everyone. Good job.
On to the second race, Fraser McConnell leading off the start, side by side in the background. Look at this, Timo Scheider and Timmy Hansen with contact in the air between the Sun Mini Mill Racing and the Andretti Alta Keelit machine. Very close together, two-wheel bicycling by both cars. Here, look at this, just hanging on. Hansen would make the move on the run down into the hairpin. Barely a gap between the two cars. He goes late on the brakes and just a nice block pass on Scheider. So McConnell came into the switch zone in the lead, handing it over to Laya Sands. He jumps out, she jumps in, 45 seconds to make that driver switch happen. Big pressure on Sands from Katie Munnings for the whole of her run, but she does hold on for the win for Acciona Sainz in Q1. Great drive by her and McConnell. So some fantastic racing from Q1, and you can see RXR taking the win along with Acciona Sainz. So they get a point each, and then on the right-hand side is the lineups for Q2. Now, of course, this is the last year with the electric cars. Next year, we're going racing with hydrogen, extreme hydrogen. Laura Winter caught up with Ali Russell to find out a bit more.
Extreme E has always been a testbed for innovative technology. Ali Russell, MD of the championship, joins me now. Ali, yes, we are currently in the Extreme E season. The title fight is already on after just one round, but we're also always looking to the future and evolving. Tell us what's next with Extreme H.
Well, thank you, Laura. We are here in the middle of the Saudi desert. We've got plentiful sun here, and we're using the sun for hydrogen. So the interesting thing is we use hydrogen to charge these cars, and it's fully electric this year. Next year, we're moving to a hydrogen championship. So the evolution of the championship will be Extreme H. So new teams, new manufacturers, most importantly, a new car. So it's Extreme H 2.0 Extreme E.
And that testing program is happening right now, isn't it, alongside Extreme E?
Yeah, we've got Mark Grain and the guys at Spark Racing Technology that are testing every single day at the moment. So it's been incredibly impactful in terms of this is the first time it's ever been done, the first time anyone's attempted it. So the innovation has been absolutely incredible.
A world first, isn't it? And full backing from the FIA, a working group with Formula One. It's really exciting to see. Thank you so much, Ali.
Thank you very much.
We're going to take a look at one of our teams. They were, of course, in the title fight last year. Just went away from them right at the end of the year. Veloce, Ion Veloce, Kevin Hansen and Molly Taylor. Two absolutely brilliant drivers. Maintained their lineup from last year. Luke Alfon, the team owner, who, of course, was a skier turned off-road driver, famous for Dakar performances. Take a look at some of their action over the last couple of days. Brilliant stuff. Sideways. Always in the mix, hoping that they're going to pick up another win this year and indeed stay in that title fight right to the very end. There's RXR, who of course were in the fight with them last time. Now, Laura has been down in the paddock, of course, and she's been catching up with both Molly Taylor and Kevin Hansen from Veloce about how things are going.
Our second round of qualifying is fast approaching. All the teams ready to do battle once again here at the Desert X Prix. One of those alongside me, Veloce Racing. Third yesterday, Molly Taylor, Kevin Hansen alongside me. A solid start for you guys. Molly, how did you see that start?
Yeah, a solid start for us. Yeah, not the greatest start. We bogged down a little bit off the start, and then, you know, once we were 100 metres down, I could see we weren't in the best position, so I just tried to keep as much momentum and put us in the best. We had a good run out of turn 2, so we were able to get back up into P3 and then stay really close. And then, yeah, Kevin bringing it up to P2. So, yeah, we know on the track we have the pace, which is good, and everything to play for still in Quali 2.
Yeah, so much to play for. You've got Andretti, your brother, starting there. You've got, of course, McLaren as well. It's going to be an interesting heat, isn't it? How has the course evolved, do you believe, and are you adapting to that?
Oh, it's really rough. It's you get a lot of moments. Yesterday in that final, I mean, we were both two-wheeling all the time, but you have to risk it. Like, if you want to win, you got to risk it in that dust and stay there. Luckily, it wasn't as much dust this morning, so we could really push forward. I was able to catch up on Gray and Johan and pass Gray there finally, so that was nice. But it is rough out there, and we have all to adapt to that. Especially if you're in the second race, obviously, like yesterday in the grand final, it's much rougher than when you're in the first, like we were this morning. So it will continue to evolve, and you have to try and anticipate, what it's going to be like. So that's a part of the challenge.
Third yesterday, how will you ensure you're not just on the podium once again, but perhaps stepping on as well?
Some of this, some of this. That's pretty much extreme. I can just do it in emojis. Just close one eye and put the elbows out. Yeah, that's the best I can explain it, I think.
Brilliant driver tactics there. Makes me think I could probably do it to get my elbows out, shut an eye, and hope for the best. Thank you both very much indeed. Best of luck for that interesting tactic you've got there. Thanks, guys.
So here's a look at the track in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. I'll say our fourth year in Saudi Arabia, for season 4, but another brand new venue. That big crest bottom left of your screen, that's at waypoint 3. We have some people checking everybody up at waypoint 2 and just trying to make things a little bit trickier for them. Over waypoint 4 is the next drop off. Then it's rutted around the back at waypoint 5 on the run up to the Continental Traction Challenge. You can use your Noah hyperdrive down that straight, or you can save it for the Continental Traction Challenge, where, remember, you can get 2 extra championship points if you are the fastest driver pairing, but also it's the tiebreaker if you end up equal on qualifying points for that all-important cut-off for the top 4 going through to the final. Then uphill into a right-hander and down again. You got a long run down to that dune, which is kind of broken. There's a hairpin over that, and the return then back to the switch zone where the drivers swap over 2 laps each. Now, if that's a little bit much to take in, don't worry. We've got a nice explainer for you to tell you just exactly how everything works. Have a look at this. Extreme E is a fully electric off-road racing championship consisting of 8 world-class teams made up of 1 male and 1 female driver. In each session, both drivers will compete behind the wheel of the Odyssey 21 electric SUV, with a driver changeover, the switch, halfway through. Each driver gets an Innova hyperdrive boost in every session, and there are bonus points for the fastest team through the Continental Traction Challenge part of the course. First up, it's qualifying, where everybody races twice in a bid to finish as high as possible in the qualifying standings. Then it's time to earn some championship points. From qualifying, the bottom 4 teams go into the redemption race, while the top 4 proceed to the grand final and compete to win the X Prix and lift the trophy. Yes! It's a season-long battle. 10 rounds, 1 champion.
After qualifying 1, McLaren are sitting 5th at the moment. Of course, 4-car finals this year means that wouldn't quite be enough to get into that grand final. Matthias, what's the plan for qualifying 2 with that in mind?
No, it's any session where you go out this year, you have to be on your A game, and we know that the average of, I would say 2 is what it's needed. So you can choose to have a win in a third or twice second. So we pretty much know we have to go out and win the next race to be in the grand final again. And yeah, we have some work to do from first session. So everybody are working hard here to try and find a bit more pace that we can be competitive for the next one.
How will that pace be found? Is that to be found within the car and the setup? I can see mechanics working around us here. Or is that between you and Christina and the feedback you're giving as drivers?
No, we have a bit of everything. So, you know, it's driving, it's setup, and also technically with the car we had some minor issues. So it's like always in motorsport, it's a big team effort, and teamwork is what is needed. And yeah, we had a similar situation yesterday, so we have to try and find a bit of pace that we can be competitive again.
Thanks, Matthias. Good luck. I hope you find that pace. Well, I head out here, of course, also in that race, in that heat, will be Andretti. Timmy Hansen is in the garage just next door. Katie Munnings with such an assured performance. Here's Timmy alongside me. Timmy, Katie with a brilliant attack, trying to get up there to lie. Of course, you gave her a good position to start with as well. What's the game plan coming into this next race?
Yeah, it's turned out that, you know, this track is great for overtaking, and we see so much battles. Like the final yesterday was a brilliant race, and we've just seen so many overtakes and stuff. It's very nice to be driving out there. I had another battle with Timo. He's a very hard racer, but we had a nice battle, I think, and yeah, then I gave the car back to Katie in P2. She managed to close the gap, and she really did everything she could to try and find the gap, but I think Laia also did a good job defending. So yeah, P2 is a solid result, and now we need another P2 in the next race to be sure we get into the final.
Yeah, you really do. It's going to be tight, isn't it? But I'm feeling there's some real confidence coming from Andretti based on so much pace yesterday.
Yeah, it's just the car is working brilliantly. I think we've worked well together, me and Katie. We're prepared well for this race, and we got good lines out there, just in a comfortable, good position. You know, we're where we want to be, and it's just a pleasure to drive and a pleasure to race.
It'll be a pleasure to watch you. Thank you very much indeed, Timmy. We shall get watching now, shall we? Here is qualifying 2, heat 1.
Attention all teams. Stand by for the start of the Desert Express. Qualifying round 2, heat 1 is about to commence. Energize your systems and prepare to race.
A crucial qualifying session for all these teams then. Even if you had a clean run in the first one, you know you're going to need another one here. Those that failed to score well in Q1 need a win here. We've some of the teams earlier said the only way through is 2 P2s or a win and a bad result. So it's all still to play for. Mix of drivers in the car again. Remember the new rule this year where there has to be an equal number of male and female starts in the final over the 10 rounds. So tactics getting mixed up. Here is the grid then for Q2 race 1. We've got Andretti, Altakilit, Veloce, JBXE and Neil McLaren. Katie Munnings is in the Andretti Altakilit. Kevin Hansen is in the Eon Veloce. Andreas Backward in for JBXE, and Matthias Ekstrom, as you can see there, in for McLaren. Marshall walks across the grid. There's Kevin. I love Kevin's facial expressions. He's so expressive in the car when he gets into full focus mode. Okay then, let's get things underway, shall we? Who's going to use the Anoa Hyperdrive? Ekstrom is right out in that position he was in yesterday when he created the Ekstrom line, coming in wider than we've seen before. The white light comes on the start gantry, bottom right of your picture. That's a 15-second warning to a random gap to the green, so the drivers can't predict when the start is. Katie Munnings had an absolutely brilliant start yesterday from this very same grid position as well. And away we go. Good start on the outside. Munnings uses the hyperdrive pretty early. Everybody else does. Ekstrom's waiting again, so I suspect this is a repeat of yesterday's line. He wants it on the exit. He's gone out wide. Watch for Matthias Ekstrom now. They're side by side on the inside line. Molly Taylor bursts, and Kevin Hansen bursts through the middle. Now, watch for Ekstrom on the hyperdrive. 400 kilowatts. It is a carbon copy of yesterday. Straight into the whole shot in turn 2. Fantastic. Fantastic. Patrick O'Donovan said earlier, it's a risky move, and he's pulled it off again. Less ruts, definitely at this time, than there were when he pulled it off yesterday. Ekstrom into the lead from Kevin Hansen as they leap over that first crest. and down into the left-hander. Absolutely brilliant start, really was. Katie Munnings is in P3 for Andretti out to Keelet. Andreas Backer at the back of the pack, you ride on board now with Matthias Ekström, looks in his mirrors, checks left twice to see how close they are. Everybody's used the Yanoa hyperdrive. Kevin Hansen is going to keep that pressure on Ekström now. I've got Patrick O'Donovan again on site. Patrick, another perfect execution by Ekström.
Yeah, of course, another masterclass there by Ekström into turn 1. Absolute, as you said.
Kevin up the inside. Sorry to interrupt, Patrick. Kevin having a look. He can't quite get there, though. Go on, Patrick, carry on. My bad.
No worries. I was going to say, yeah, Kevin Hansen only under half a second off Matthias is not going to let him get away with that. He's going to be pushing to try and make a move anywhere he can before he goes into the switch zone and spots for Molly.
Well, we saw him try there, didn't we, on that long braking zone into the left-hander, not quite enough. We're hearing now the gap 0.8. I think that is Katie's gap. No, I think it's Ekström. I think it's Lena Gade we're hearing from.
1.2.
Yeah, it is. It's Lena Gade. So we're hearing Lena Gade on the radio for McLaren, Neil McLaren. She's giving Ekström the gap literally at every single one of these checkpoints. Through the whoop section now, left-hand side of the road for Ekström, right-hand side of the road for Kevin Hansen. Backward is about 5.3 off the lead now. They're still just trying to dial in the JBXE machine. He said to me yesterday, I'm going as fast as I can make it go. So they're just trying to find any little gremlins in they can to get on the pace of these front runners. There is your target if you're on board with Kevin Hansen. And that is the onboard of the target that he's looking at. Hansen tries that wide line. We've seen that from Andretti and from RXR earlier on today, just to get out on the smooth line and try and find a bit of extra grip. Katie Munnings still in touch with these. Remember, it's 2 laps for each of the drivers before they go into the switch zone. Patrick, I'm guessing you'll have been out and done some passenger rides since we last spoke to you. What are track conditions like?
Yeah, of course, the track's slowly degrading. It's holding up a lot better than it was yesterday, but there's some really deep ruts there. Just actually at the crest they've just gone over, turn 2, so the right-hander just before they go up over the crest, and the same with waypoint 13 and 17. Really starting to build up a bank on the outside. And yeah, if you go a little bit too wide, there could be a little bit of a difficult corner. Perhaps we could see some cars going up on 2 wheels or even further than that.
OK, thank you, mate. Fantastic update. Championship driver Patrick O'Donovan joins us for qualifying. We'll have Christine GZ joining us later on today for the redemption race in the finals. And, of course, this session decides which of these cars are going to make it through, 4 in each of those races. There's more points up for grabs now if you win the redemption race than there are if you're in the final, the last position in the final. You can hear Lena Gade there saying, looking up your inside, and you can see Ekström had a look in the mirror. Kevin wasn't quite close enough to make it happen, and Katie Munnings trying some alternate lines in the background as well. She cut close in on a corner a few moments ago to try and find the smooth line out. Ruts look a little bit deeper through there. Now look, everybody out onto the clean sand on the outside line. Just 2.8 seconds separating these cars, and backwards still in touch. Look, he's in the back of the picture, he's still there. Kevin Hansen grits his teeth as he tries to find a way through. Door hasn't been opened yet. He will know that to pass Ekström, he'll need absolutely everything that he's got. Now, this looks like a good opportunity for the blockchain machine. Great exit speed by Kevin Hansen. Gets a little bit sideways over the crest here. Can he get close enough to stick it up the inside? We have seen moves up here. I think this is where Arlen Kotlinski had a look yesterday. Oh, sand over the top. That gives you an idea just how hard the visibility is. As close as he dares there. Rear end of the car kicks up for both. Munnings will be keeping an eye on these two as well in case there's any issues. It's into the switch zone now, though. Couple of left-handers to go, and I don't think Kevin will be trying anything other than maybe try to get alongside as they come into the switch. That would put them at least equal as they come in. He might go late on the brakes, so it'll be straight on any minute now off to the switch zone, then hard on the brakes down to the speed limit. And there we go. Kevin getting as close as he could. 0.8 of a second between them, 2.5 across the top 3. And let's have another look at this from Ekström. Out wide, look in tight. And it's about now that he uses the Yanoa hyperdrive. And look at the acceleration in the car. You can actually see the difference. Fantastic execution. Just, you could see it coming a mile off. You think he's never going to get away with it again. Look at this from outside. Outside, there's the pack. Inside. Hyperdrive. And there it is. You heard the RPM come up. You actually hear the wheel spin as he taps the button straight into the lead. So, yeah, bang on. 2 times in a row. Patrick, do you use the hyperdrive on passenger rides? I guess maybe not so much if you're trying to get as many rides in as you can for battery duration.
Yeah, no, we tend to not use them as much as we could do, but of course when we're doing the course development before the weekend gets underway and we're doing some testing with the car, we try a few different points there. Generally, like I said, drivers tend to use them off the start to try and get track position before they head into the switch zone, and then during the heats it's the most important time to use it is the Continental Traction Challenge. Of course, when you get to the final, it's all about trying to make use of position. If you need it for an overtake on the straight, then that's probably a really, really good place to use it, is anywhere there's a long straight into a heavy braking zone. It's important to be carrying as much speed as you can. If you can carry more speed into the corner, of course, harsher braking, and you can just try and edge ahead into a position.
Well, talking of edging ahead into a position, the Veloce machine has got past the McLaren in the switch zone, according to when they were leaving. Need a wider shot to see where it is. There it is, it's out front. So the Veloce machine got past the McLaren. Not quite sure what happened with whether McLaren had a slow switch or whether Veloce, there's nothing on the screen with regard to anybody leaving early, but either way, you've now got Molly Taylor in for Veloce. You've got Christine Gutierrez is in the McLaren with a super long jump, and Timmy Hansen following her with a likewise line. Gutierrez gets sideways on the landing. She's compromised on the entry. Hansen will have better exit speed here.
Both of these, Timmy. You
Maybe
can do
get
this.
alongside.
Both of them, get past.
Oh, I can't quite get there through the ruts in the left-hander. Timmy Hansen right on the back now. Gutierrez onto the back of the Veloce. Two of the cars have used their Renault hyperdrive already. Veloce still got theirs to deploy. So Molly Taylor might use that to try and get a bit of a gap on the cars behind. She'll hope that they get in a scrap and hold each other up. Now Molly Taylor uses the 400 kilowatts of power. Timmy Hansen, watch him. Andretti out to Keeler, going for the outside line.
He's on your outside.
Tries to carry the speed. Lena Gade on the radio saying Gutierrez, he's outside. She blocks him. Runs the car wide. Hansen goes up to the inside line now to cut back. Can he get on the exit power just a little bit earlier here? But Gutierrez gets sideways again. He is all over. He's nailed onto the back of that car. Lena Gade saying stay left, stay left. The Veloce machine in front as well. Gutierrez will have one eye on that. Timmy Hansen backs it in from outside. This is where Fraser McConnell rolled yesterday. Veloce and Molly Taylor kicks up high over that crest.
Still on your bumper.
1.45 between the top three cars. Nothing in Hansen up the inside, gets it done this time. Gutierrez leaves just a car's width.
Focus forward.
And he slides through, and they're telling Timmy, focus forward. Look at Molly in front of you. Ignore what's behind you. Go for what's in front.
Keep it clean.
Keep it clean. So Timmy Hansen looking for another great result. Last time out, him and Katie got a P2. Another P2 would see them in the final, but a win would absolutely secure that spot. They don't want it to come down to the Continental Traction Challenge. There's Katie. We said she wears her emotions on her sleeve. She's looking stressed. Gutierrez gets out for the wide line. Hansen's gone on the tight line. Going to try and get alongside Molly Taylor here on the run down. Taylor just about holding on. Different lines over the jump. Hansen maybe has to go slightly slower. There's another lap to go. Into the left now. Gutierrez is back on the back of Hansen. So Gutierrez is applying the pressure back to Timmy Hansen, the Andretti out to Keelit. Into the right-hander. Hansen has got to do one more pass if he can, but he also has to watch what's going on behind him. All kicking off here. Patrick, great racecraft from Timmy Hansen. Nothing less than we'd expect from a guy who's won the World Rallycross Championship.
No, certainly. He's a seasoned professional, and he's not leaving anything out there on track to be discouraged. He's an amazing driver, and I know exactly what Gutierrez must have been feeling then when he was all over the back of her. I've had to hold Timmy back behind me for a few laps myself, so he definitely doesn't make it easy. He's one to try and apply the pressure everywhere. He'll be getting in and out of the mirrors, making sure you're there. Making sure you know he's there, and trying to make as much pressure as he possibly can. Try and get you to crack and then make the move.
Here we go then. Is this going to be the move? You can hear them on the radio to him saying keep the pressure on. Going late on the brakes, coming up for the outside line again. This is where he tried on Gutierrez earlier on. Going to try and get alongside Molly Taylor. Taylor's going to go defensive. Hansen now should get a great exit through here and could be able to line her up. She parks it on the apex. He's going to get alongside her, side by side, but Taylor now has the inside line with a hairpin at the end of this straight. Timmy's going to have to go very late on the brakes. He'll try and squeeze her, maybe. No, gives her more room. So Taylor's going to go early and defensive. Hansen's going to try and cut back underneath. Oh, then side by side, and this time it's done. Timmy Hansen with a move through two different corners. Brilliant drive from the Andretti out to Keelit team to take the lead. He moves up 2 positions. Taylor frowns at having lost the space in front of her. Gutierrez in behind in P3. Akil's dropped some 24 seconds off the back, so 3-car race with 1.4 between them and just a few sectors still to go. Out wide now for Gutierrez as she searches for any way to try and get past Taylor. They need a good result, don't they? Where were they in the first one? They had a P3 in the first one, so Neil McLaren could be in danger of not making it here unless they make the pass on the Veloce. Gutierrez and Taylor side by side. It's a brilliant last gasp move. 2 wheels on Gutierrez. In front, Timmy Hansen going to take this for Andretti out to Keeler, but will that be enough for the McLaren team to make it through?
Good move, Christina, good move.
It's a win for Andretti out to Keeler. Gutierrez nicks it just before the line. Will that drag them into the final, and the Veloce ends up P3. Relief for Katie Munnings. That was a hell of a race. Wow, absolutely fantastic racing, the same as yesterday. Here comes Dania Rakil doing a brilliant job, still learning her way around, and to keep up with those in front, she would have needed a bit more seat time. They are the best of the best in this series, doing battle with the male and the female driver. She crosses the line to take the finish as well. But wow, Katie Munnings, all smiles. A P1 and a P2 will be enough to book their spot in the final. A hug for Roger Griffiths, team manager. In the background there, Ekstrom leaving the area. Traction Challenge still at the minute, look, Legacy Motor Club in the lead. By the way, Gray Ledbetter as a part of that pairing. Travis was the fastest overall. Gray was P4 overall in the Traction Challenge against all the male drivers with the seat time she's had. Absolutely brilliant. Fastest female out there as well. Second fastest driver, 1/10. So this is as the points stand, but remember we have 4 cars still to score. So that's where they sit in their various qualifying positions. Andretti Autokili are definitely safe. I would say the 14s should be safe as well. So it's going to depend what RXR, Acciona Science and the rest can score in this next race. We're going to go down and speak to Katie Munnings. Katie, this is my favourite Katie Munnings, the one with the big smile on her face. Mate, you can't hide your emotions. We had a picture-in-picture of you looking super stressed out in that one, but what a drive by both of you. Wow!
Do you know what? The last time I couldn't watch the TV when Timmy was racing was when we were leading the final in Greenland and he was battling with Johan Gustafsson. So yeah, that was insane by him to pass those 2 cars. Yeah, we got the job done when it needed to be done.
Absolutely brilliant. You must be so fired up into the final. I felt you had the pace yesterday. You did some incredible times yesterday, lap time and Traction Challenge. What's the difference? You come into the season with a bit of a reset. I feel like your confidence is back.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a brand new rebuild car after Chile, obviously. What happened out there, we had to start from scratch. So it just feels amazing. You know, the team have worked so hard to rebuild everything. Yeah, it's just working this race. We were quick yesterday. I think we pulled really unlucky draw for the quali. We were in a really competitive heat, but on pace we could have been there. And today we're there. So I just knew I had to cling on to the back of Matthias and Kevin, who are probably 2 of the fastest drivers out there at the minute. So it was super tough. But yeah, happy to be fighting with the boys. This is what it's all about.
You're one of the fastest too, Katie. We're all very impressed. All right, crack on this afternoon. Best of luck.
Thank you.
There we go, Katie Munnings, all smiles, and rightly so. A brilliant performance by them. Here are the results of Q2, Heat 1. Andreas Baccarat and Dania Rakil, JBXE P4. Ion Veloce P3 for Kevin Hansen and Molly Taylor. P2 for Christina Gutierrez with a brilliant pass right at the end of the race, and her teammate Matthias Ekstrom 1.2 seconds back. And the win was Munnings and Hansen for Andretti Autokili. Now, just a couple of weeks ago, we had the first ever E1 race. Now, E1, if you're new to it, is electric boat racing. So we've already had, of course, electric street racing with Formula E single-seaters. Electric off-road is what we're doing, of course, with Extreme E. And this is a brand new series which brings in some seriously big hitters from the world of sport. The likes of Tom Brady, the very famous quarterback, owning a team. And we've got some crossover as well, because Timmy Hansen and Katie Munnings were racing for Team Brazil. There is their boat out on the water, so something completely new, them driving on a totally different surface. Investment from the Public Investment Fund in Saudi Arabia, and that is why, of course, round 1 was held out there. There was a test event prior to the first weekend. These incredible boats running on foils, lifting them out of the water and enabling us to take electric motorsport in a 3rd different direction. Brilliant stuff. We need some sort of a crossover, don't we, between getting the boat racers to come and drive in Extreme E as well. Now we're going to head down to one of our new teams in Extreme E. Laura Winter is with Team Legacy Motor Club.
I think we're all very much enjoying new kids on the block here, Travis Pastrana and Gray Ledbetter as well. Travis, loved the little cheeky wave in the redemption race to Timo Scheider yesterday, and very much enjoying the fact that you're top as well of the Continental Traction Challenge in some of those sectors. You are really enjoying this, aren't you?
It's been so much fun. There's been some big wins for us, but I lost us 2 to 3 seconds in the pits. Then I didn't get out of the car fast enough, didn't get out. So definitely Gray has stepped up so much. I'm so proud of how well she's done, and this whole Legacy team has been great. So it's awesome to be over here. I thought I made a hero pass her on the outside, and then Timo's like, yeah, my vehicle broke. So sorry, Timo, I was just having too much fun out there, but it's been a good time.
That's what this is about, and we love seeing it. Great, and I echo your sentiment. So does Andrew Coley in commentary as well. You have stepped up, Gray. You had 6-time World Rallycross champion behind you, Johan Kristoffersson, bearing down on you. You held him off for over a lap. Talk me through that and how much you were enjoying this too.
There's really nothing like being thrown to the wolves on the second day here. We saw the lineup and realized I was going up against all the guys, so I was just like, hopefully get out front and pull off a lead, which we got it, and then I was just like, I'm just gonna play defense and just try to do the best I can to avoid them and to block them off, and I'll take it for what it is. Second day in the car officially, and they've been in the car for 4 years now and have done everything they have, and so I think it's huge progress for the whole team.
Oh, you're impressing, that's for sure. Very quickly, Travis, the game plan now for qualifying 2.
Easy. Go like hell. We got to win this one if we want a chance in the final, and then do the same in the final. So, you know, we're finding the speed. We're not quite there, but I believe that we could potentially pull off a miracle. I just want to beat Matthias. That's why we're here. So let's go.
I absolutely love it. Thank you both so much. Look forward to seeing it.
Teams are getting ready for Q2 Heat 2. The final race of qualifying going to decide which of the 4 cars go through the grand final, which ones end up in the redemption race. In a good position after a win in their first run are Acciona Sainz, and we're going to go down to the Vodafone Business Command Centre and talk to Carlos Sainz, the team boss of that fantastic squad. Good morning, Carlos. Good to see you, and a great start for your team.
Good morning. Yeah, the first heat was good, the first qualifying. Now, obviously, as you just said, it's so important to have a clean second heat and trying to go to the final.
Fraser McConnell doing a brilliant job for you. Elias Sands taking the start here against Johan, Clara and Gray. I mean, you're on the outside. You'll have seen what Matthias Ekström has done twice now. Is that a move that might be on for Laia, or as you're just going to wait and see what happens in turn 1?
Yeah, I think she will probably look a little bit, but it is high chances that she will try something like that. Obviously, it's not an easy move. You need to carry on quite a lot of speed and then press the hyper mode in the right spot. So we will see. I hope she can manage at least a clean start.
Brilliant, Carlos. Thank you very much. We'll let you get to your station, and we wish you and the team the best of luck.
Thank you.
Okay then, cars on the grid. From left to right, you've got Legacy Motor Club on the inside line. Then we've got Sun Mini Mill Racing, Rosberg X Racing, and Acciona Sainz Extreme E on the far outside. Say Elias Sands is in for Acciona Sainz, Johan Kristoffersson is in for RXR, Clara Anderson for Sun Mini Mill, and Gray Ledbetter for Legacy Motor Club. There's Travis Pastrana, who will be taking over from her at the midway point. Helmet going on for Clara now. Already ready to go. Look, Michaela Arlen-Kotlinski. Sorry, it's helmet going on for Timo, isn't it? Sorry, Clara's in the car already. Get your glasses on, Coley. Right, here we go. Time for the start. We heard Carlos Sainz say maybe Laia will try a similar move from the outside line. She gets a good start. You see the car squat down when they pick up the grip. Kristoffersson in for RXR has gone out wide as well. So Johan Kristoffersson and Elias Sands looking at a very similar move. They're both going to make the car back from the outside. Can they both make an undercut on the cars in front of them? They get parked at the apex. There's no way through for Laia at the back. Johan has to check up, just gets alongside contact between Sun Mini Mill there. And I think it's Gray Ledbetter it was, yes, so contact between them. And now Johan parks it at the apex as they head up to the crest at number 3. Small jumps for everyone, super low speed through that second sector. And that's where people are just playing tactics and trying to make sure nobody gets past them on the exit. Ledbetter getting past Clara Anderson here on the inside line. Just got to hold on to that. Clara will try and go the long way round her. Johan leads, sprays Laya Sands behind with the dirt. What's the outcome? Yeah, Ledbetter is in P3. So great Ledbetter in P3, now starting to apply some pressure. Clara Anderson looks up the inside of her, jumps long in the Sun Mini-Mill car, over that whoop section, and around to the back part of the circuit. OK, gaps then, 1.3 seconds for Kristoffersson out front. Both RXR and Acciona Science tried the move, but as you can see, if the team's on the inside park at the apex, you can't do it. And I wonder if in the final we're going to see people realise, get into turn 1, park here, back the pack up, and don't leave that door open for the extra move from the outside. He's pulled it off twice. Will they make it through to the final? That move for Gutierrez suggests that they will, but obviously it depends on the points scored in this one, and then any tie breaks will be settled by the Continental Traction Challenge. Laya Sands going with Johan Kristoffersson out front. Patrick O'Donovan, they tried the move and it didn't pay off this time. I mean, Johan's got the lead. To be fair, they're P1 and P2. It kind of paid off, but not in the same way it did for Ekstrom.
Yeah, they tried to navigate their way through turn 1, but Gray and Clara did a great job of trying to cover off. They made it really difficult for them to carry the momentum. Of course, Johan managed to get through, but by the time Laya Sands had got there, she already had to slam on the brakes. Just managed to keep it going, though, and have the inside line into turn 2, but it didn't quite work in the same way, with the same level of finesse that Matthias managed to carry it out earlier on today. However, I think it could still work, but they just need to try and make sure if there's 2 of them out there, the second one needs to understand that there's going to be drivers coming back across by the time they manage to get through. Yeah, especially when they get checked up in the middle. There's the Traction Challenge standings at the moment. Legacy Motor Club Pastrana and Ledbetter leading Andretti Altakilit and Ion Veloce. The time was around 2 seconds quicker than yesterday. We did actually see some people heading up towards the top of those standings in the redemption race yesterday, but nobody went quicker than Veloce had gone in Q2 as track conditions got worse during the course of the day. So if you want those extra points, this is when you need to do it. If RXR continue where they are, it will be another top qualifier. 2 TQs in a row. It would be absolutely epic, wouldn't it? Acciona Science would be making it, and actually McLaren wouldn't make it at the minute based on the Continental Traction Challenge. They would lose the split to Ion Veloce, even though they passed them in that last race. So, wow, that just shows you how important the Traction Challenge is. Kristoffersson has stretched his lead up to 3.1. Ledbetter is going with them. Fantastic performance from her ahead of Clara Anderson with not much seat time in the car. Brilliant. Fantastic to see. Patrick, your thoughts on Ledbetter's progress during the course of the weekend? Well, you know, I had a chat with her, and I'm really impressed. I went over to her yesterday after they'd finished the session, and she was just saying how happy she was that every time she got back in the car, she was halving the gap between her and her fellow drivers out there. So, I mean, just the level of progression to come in here into a car that she's never driven before without much electric motorsport experience in a discipline that's way different to anything else out there. To me, it's really, really impressive. You know, just to be able to get in there and put on a performance like she's doing now just shows the level of character and the level of drive that she's at.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I very much do. We're looking at Ledbetter now. Travis Pastrana is going to need to pass a couple of cars here to get himself into position. I'm excited at the prospect of Travis in full send mode. He's going to have to try and get past Fraser McConnell, of course, and Michaela Arlen-Kotlinski. There is Gray Ledbetter on board. Just eyes wide open. Fantastic. She's doing such a good job. She really is. Box. So now we hear the radios, just a reminder to the teams that they need to come in. Johan's given his teammate a 4-second lead. It's not a lot, but I think it's quite hard to make up time around this track. There are no super tricky technical bits. And in terms of risk, you up your risk of a roll, yes, if you get it wrong, if you're in the ruts. But there aren't the super tricky technical parts where you can do something different to make up a bunch of time. It's quite a wide open, fast track. So 4 seconds, 5.2 in fact, once they got into the switch zone. Kristoffersson braking nice and late, and that's a good advantage for Arlen-Kotlinski as she takes over. And Fraser McConnell is going to be just in front of Travis Pastrana, and Timo Scheider isn't far back either. 10 seconds across the cars. Remember last time Legacy Motor Club had a bit of an incident in their switch zones. They're going to need to be nice and careful with the switch this time. Ledbetter's got to get it all the way into the zone. There she does. Into neutral right now. They can crack on. She loosens off the harness. Bottom left corner. This is Ledbetter. Pulls out now the arm strap on the door. Then you climb out through the door. And they can see at the top of the picture, they pull the seat insert out for Travis. He's over 6 foot tall. Arlen Kotlinski, look, he's in, dialed in, all locked up. Ekstrom has a look to the back. Sorry, Kristoffersen has a look to the back of the car.
2, 1.
There's your countdown into drive and go. You mustn't put it into drive. That's how they do it on the data, is how long the car is in neutral for. It must remain in neutral for 45 seconds. There's Fraser McConnell, and that's his target in front. So McConnell 5.2 back as they came in. That's the go, 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 and that's for Travis Pastrana.
So it's 5 seconds, get them.
It's 5 seconds, get them. That's Fraser McConnell's spotter talking to him. 5 seconds, get them. Get the drivers, get the seconds, either way, same difference. Travis Pastrana 2 seconds off the back of Fraser McConnell. They've done battle many times this year already in Nitrocross. Now, of course, this is Fraser McConnell's home territory in Extreme E. He's done more time in this car than Travis, but Travis at the minute is the quickest driver in the Continental Traction Challenge. Yesterday had a quick sector time. This morning was quickest in all the sectors on one of his runs. So it's taken him not much time to get used to this Odyssey 21 machine and the Extreme E series. Dust's kicking up a bit now offline. So visibility not quite so good. Pastrana bicycles twice in a row. He is risking it. So Travis Pastrana is taking some risks here to try and close the gap down. Fraser McConnell in front of him, 6.8. McConnell's lost time to Arlen Kotlinski in front. That gap's gone up. Now it's come down by just a tenth. And Fraz will know that Travis is just behind him. Travis Pastrana uses the hyperdrive. Going to try and go on the inside line. 400 kilowatts of power. Going to get alongside Fraser McConnell. Backing in from a long way back. Opposite lock. On the lock stop. Pastrana just holds onto the car. And McConnell just holds onto the position.
Okay for the final place.
Wow. So Pastrana must find a way through, remember, for him. So McConnell is perfectly safe where he is. They had a win, and in P2, he'll definitely make the final. He won't want to drop down to third. Pastrana has another look up the inside line. This time he might get it done. And looking across to the left, McConnell knows that Pastrana's there. There he is. Travis Pastrana has made the pass. He's made the pass. We were on board there, and you saw McConnell looking across. Pastrana snuck up the inside. Now McConnell's got a P1 and a P3. Fractiona Science. We'll have a look at how it stands on the points in a moment and see if that affects whether or not they make the final. Over the crests, up the hill towards the top. Now Pastrana's next target is Rosberg X Racing, 6.3 seconds up the road, so he will need to continue to take the risk. As it stands, it would still be the same, so they would still make it. So it's still about that 14-point split between Ion Veloce and McLaren. Neil McLaren, seeing Neil McLaren just miss out. We said to him that there's 5 teams that are bang on the pace at the minute. Pastrana wouldn't have enough, even if he finishes where he does. If he gets another position on... Whoa! 2 wheels again! Even Travis Pastrana is left open-mouthed at that one. Goodness me, I mean, we know he's a 2-wheel specialist, but he spent half this lap on 2 wheels, it seems. Incredible. The gap's down to 5.0. He's getting after it. 4.8, another 2 tenths go the way of Pastrana. Legacy Motor Club desperately trying to fight for a place in the final. There's Gray Ledbetter in the Vodafone Business Command Centre. Over the crest in the background, Arlen Kotlinski gets the rear kicked up. Pastrana's got nothing to lose. Arlen Kotlinski knows that they're in a championship fight all year. And of course, Legacy Motor Club are as well. Travis standing in for Jimmy Johnson for 2 events. You're on board now with him as he heads up the hill. He's managed to gap Fraser by just a couple of seconds. Fraser will know that he doesn't need this position. There's no point in damaging the car as Pastrana continues to chase the gap down. 5.5 now to Arlen Kotlinski. They're on the last lap. I think the gap's too big to bridge at this point, but he will not give up. As late on the brakes as he can be. Patrick, it's great to see Travis in full attack mode here.
Yeah, of course, it's never too late. You never know what could happen. RXR could have an absolute nightmare in the last closing corners, and you never know. If Travis is close enough, he might be able to just pip them across the line. So, of course, he's going to be pushing as hard as he can. Fraser behind him will be pushing too, but maybe not as much. The team will know and will have told Fraser that he's going to be making the final as long as he stays in P3 here. So he won't be trying to take any risks. He won't be trying to make a mistake or have a crash. So, you know, I think it's pretty set in stone for Fraser. However, Travis will be pushing as hard as he can to close that gap to the RXR.
Yeah, and that, of course, is why a win in one of these sessions is so important. Coming into this race with 10 points from a win in Q1, Acciona Sainz know they can lower the risk. You come into it with lower points and you've got to go absolutely flat out, and that's what Travis Pastrana is doing just in front. Fraser will have his eyes on him, but will know the job is done. But the job is done out front as well, because Michaela Arlen-Kotlinski is bringing the Rosberg X Racing machine through the final checkpoints towards the finish line. And she's going to jump over this crest and pass the board to take 2 wins in a row and another top qualifier spot for RXR. They won yesterday, they were TQ yesterday, they're TQ again today. Travis Pastrana with a wonderful display of car control and risk comes over the line in P2. Fraser McConnell in P3 should see Acciona Sainz go through as well. And Timo Schade for Sun Mini Mule Racing at the back, led better. And the team in the command centre, they'll be disappointed not to have got the win and made it through to the final, but there we go. Yeah, thumbs up from Michaela. She knew that's as she drives back past. Oh no, that's across to Travis. How fantastic. Travis looking across and giving her a thumbs up. Yeah, great stuff. Here you go. On board with Travis, watch this. That's the pass on Fraz, okay, yeah. Fraz definitely knew he was there. He definitely knew. That's the full opposite lock that we saw from the drone as he clung onto it on the way into that left-hander, fighting the car. Another look, this was the move finally that came off on the brakes all the way down into the deep ruts on the inside. I couldn't hear the radio. We heard it in the background, but there was so much going on. I wonder if it was the Acciona Sainz squad saying, you know what, just chill out. You don't need to go any higher up the order than this. P4, Anderson and Scheider for Sun Mini Mule. Elias Sands and Fraser McConnell, P3 for Acciona Sainz, enough to make the final. Brilliant drives by both Ledbetter and Pastrana on their debut weekend here, and they've got another race still to go this afternoon for Legacy Motor Club. And in P1, again, winning both their heats again, and top qualifiers again, the reigning champions, Johan Kristoffersson and Michaela Arlen-Kotlinski for Rosberg X Racing. It's a brilliant performance. Can anybody stop them? There is the Vodafone Command Centre down in the centre of the paddock, and that's where all the teams hang out when they're out racing, and that's where Gray Ledbetter has just watched Travis Pastrana's pretty epic performance out there on course. Gray, you were absolutely flying. First of all, I want to touch on the fact that you're at the 19. This is your debut weekend in Extreme E. You've come in against some of the best drivers in the world, and I think you've done yourself and America proud. So how are you feeling?
I feel really good. This was such a great improvement from yesterday to begin with. The Legacy Motor Club team has done such a good job getting this car good. And Travis pulling off the fastest lap time, I think, is a great start to the year for this car.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been brilliant. The learning curve's been so steep. It looks to me like you've got quicker and quicker every time you've got in the car. And it must be great working with Travis, although I imagine you've got your heart in your mouth when you're watching him bicycle the car around half the lap.
Yeah, for sure. These cars are sketch, but they're so much fun to drive. I mean, I think I was 4/10 off of Kristoffersson that time, which I'll take that. Or 4 seconds, I mean, but I'll take it. I'm learning, and this car is so much fun, but I don't know. It's such a good progress from where we were, and to finish it off like that. Well, we still have one more race, but, you know.
You come from a rally cross and, of course, ARX background, Nitro Cross. You've done a ton of off-road stuff. How is it to go up against legends of those disciplines? Because it must be great to line up alongside some of these drivers who I'm sure you've watched.
Yeah, for sure. It's insane. And even Fraser, we raced against each other 5 years ago, and to come back and 5 years later be running head-to-head with each other is absolutely insane.
Well, look, it's brilliant to have you and Legacy Motor Club and Travis here at Extreme E, so welcome along. Congratulations on a brilliant first weekend, and good luck this afternoon.
Thank you.
Okay, let's take a look at the points at the end of qualifying then. RXR with another top qualifier and another perfect day at the top of the table. Hansen and Munnings for Andretti Alta, Keeler in P2, McConnell and Sands in P3 for Acciona Sainz. It is Kevin Hansen and Molly Taylor who make the cut for Ion Veloce. And look, Ekstrom and Gutierrez, who were in the fight yesterday in that final, haven't made it. So Ekstrom and Pastrana will get to race each other in the final. Here's a look back at some of the brilliant action with Pastrana in that last one. I know Legacy Motor Club as a new team be disappointed not to have made the final. You've got to have something to aim for. They've achieved everything else this weekend. Continental Traction Challenge leaders at the moment. Some spectacular action and speed from both Gray Ledbetter and Travis Pastrana. Pastrana bicycling and risking his way through the entire of this last race as he tried desperately to close the gap down and see if they could book a spot in the final. There we are, in the air, something he's very familiar with. RXR, though, out front, pretty much unstoppable so far this weekend. They only missed out on 2 points yesterday. Can they claim them all today? They'll be looking for the win for sure.
We've got 2 new teams in the paddock for this season, one of which is Sun Mini Mills. We're about to now take an exclusive tour to look around here, this garage. Timo Scheider, not just a driver, of course a familiar face to the Extreme E paddock, here with a brand new team, a new partner in Clara Anderson, but a new role within this team as well. Talk me through it.
Well, it's totally a new challenge for me. So I'm arriving as a team principal and team driver. I thought I can concentrate 100% on driving, but for sure this will bring a lot of new challenges in terms of being a team boss this time. But I like it so far. It was a hard couple of days and weeks so far, but when you look around here in the paddock, and right now I think we have had a pretty good welcome here. So from here we take it and we try to make it best possible.
It's good to be back, isn't it, for Extreme E Season 4. What are the big aims for Sun Mini Mills?
Well, first of all, we are a brand new team, so everyone involved in here is like a new team member. So we have to somehow get everyone together and work together closely and understand each other. So that's the biggest challenge for all of us. So we have a lot of experience inside the team with Extreme E experience, Dakar experience, World Rallycross experience. So it's a good mix of knowledge, but now we have to get the things together, and most likely this should be in the end a good result. But yeah, first of all, finish the race.
Plenty of expertise within this garage. Thank you so much, Timo. Good luck for the season. Thanks for showing us about. We've got the car, the Odyssey 21, just behind us. And here is where some of the magic happens. I can see Clara Anderson, Timo's partner, here. Clara, I'm going to come next to you down here. How is the dynamic within this team, this new team, and between yourself and Timo?
It's really good dynamic. The atmosphere in the team is great. Everyone is super passionate about being here, and yeah, it's always all smiles, but we are here to race, and everyone is so determined to have success.
What happens back here as well?
Yeah, so here is where we basically make the car and me and Timo even faster, let's say. So we analyze everything down to the last details, because as we see on the grid, all teams are so stacked. All the details will matter, and here is where we all try to be smart and take the right decisions.
Big aim for you for this season?
Absolutely. Both me and Timo has been in Extreme E for some time now and showed good pace. So we hope to be fighting for the podiums this year.
Podiums it is. Thank you so much, Clara, for letting us in. Good luck this season.
So grid play, if you're not in the final, then you get to donate your votes to one of the other teams. The team with the most votes gets to choose their grid slot first. As you can see, lots of people voted for Acciona Science, because it was actually Ion Veloce who won the fan vote, but the other drivers decided, no, you're not having that, gave the votes to Acciona Science instead. Jenny Gow is still here. We've been plying her with tea for nearly 24 hours. Jenny...
I've had more tea than I've ever known to have, but hopefully my voice is now strong enough to stand up to the rigours of Extreme E.
We're going to give us a bit of input. So here is our dream team. Travis Pastrana on his debut with a 2:11.03, and Michaela Arlen-Kotlinski, the reigning female champion, with RXR 2:14.15. And these are the fastest times. So Pastrana, look, 0.4 of a second ahead of Ekstrom. There you go, Travis. You beat Matthias. He's been trying to beat him, hasn't he? Maybe we can get to accept that that's enough.
Do you think?
Katie Munnings, I don't know. Look at the lap times, though. The top females, 2:14.1, would put them ahead of Johan on this occasion. So, Jenny, it just goes to show the championship's doing what it's set out to do.
This is a strong mission statement, isn't it? That they wanted to bring equality to the team. They wanted to see the women propel themselves up that leaderboard, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're really impressing me and hopefully everyone else.
Yeah, exactly. They really are, really are. Here are your entry lists, if you like, for the grand final. Ion Veloce, RXR, Andretti Autokilit and Acciona Sainz. Redemption Races, Sun Mini-Mill Racing, Neon McLaren, who very nearly won yesterday, JBXE, and of course our brand new team of Pastrana and Ledbetter, Legacy Motor Club. Some of the action from earlier on today and this weekend has been absolutely stunning. It really has. It's been brilliant.
It was so good. I sat there, I tried not to scream. It was so thrilling and exciting.
Yeah, we've been trying to get Jenny not to speak all day in the hopes that she can join in for the final show for us. Jenny, did you get up at 5 o'clock this morning to watch the show? I hope you did.
Yeah, I messaged you.
Yeah, you did message me, to be fair. I wasn't sure if you'd gone back to sleep or not. I was keeping an eye on my WhatsApp notifications. Going to be carnage in turn one. Hopefully not too much carnage. And by carnage, I mean excitement. We've seen Ekstrom pull off that incredible move, going out wide and cutting to the inside. We've seen some people try and copy it and it not come off. It was so close yesterday. Is it going to be as close today? Can anybody beat Rosberg X Racing? Or is it going to be the perfect weekend for them? Stay with us. We will be finding out very soon indeed. Extreme E 2024 kicked off yesterday in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia for round one, and we're coming towards the closing stages of round two today. Double header weekend here, sand and rocks out on the course, an absolutely stunning track and some brilliant action for the Desert X Prix. Now, yesterday, RXR dominated. They won both their qualifying sessions and the final in a very close encounter with Neon McLaren. Today, Neon McLaren will be in the redemption race because it is incredibly close out there. RXR, though, have won both their qualifying sessions. Can they win again today and set up a perfect start to a title defence? I'm Andrew Coley. I'm joined by Jenny Gow. Laura Winter is on site along with Patrick O'Donovan and Christine GZ. If you've only just joined us, then you've missed the qualifying action already. Of course, 2 qualifying sessions decide who goes into which of the sessions. RXR winning their race again in Q1, which set them up just nicely for the rest of the day. This was the start in race 2 of Q1, inside line Acciona Sainz. They went on to take the win. Now, they both had 1 win yesterday. 2 wins gives you top qualifier almost certainly. A win and a third is enough to put you through to the final. That's what Acciona Sainz did because there was so much battling going out on track. They decided they didn't want to get stuck into it. We had Andretti Autokilit taking a win in Q2. And of course, RXR went on to take their 2nd win. Fantastic stuff.
It was a terrific start for McLaren in round 1 of the Desert X Prix, but unfortunately today not quite making the grand final. Despite Cristina Gutierrez's best efforts, how did you see qualifying and how are you looking ahead to this redemption race?
Yeah, you never know in this type of championship. It's very difficult to be in the final, and you can see it. We tried to do our best in the qualies. We had some little issues in the car, also in the pit stop in the last race, and we couldn't go to the final. It's the same because the team deserved it. They worked very hard to get the car ready, and unfortunately we couldn't. But for sure we are going to do everything for the redemption.
We can see the amount of work going on behind us here on this car. Still 12 points up for grabs, though, in this redemption race for this season. So you're still in there in the championship.
Yeah, for sure. It's just the beginning. We should keep fighting until the end. We have all the season keep going, and I think we need to do our best from the beginning.
Absolutely. Best of luck. Thank you so much, Cristina, for your time. It's not just about the racing on track. Extreme E leaves a lasting positive environmental legacy wherever we go. Here in Saudi Arabia, it's all about coral reef protection.
Today we're going diving to see the corals here in the Red Sea, and it's a very special ocean because it's so warm here. So the corals are very unique and are surviving. We're in the university here in Jeddah, and they're doing loads of research on these corals. So that's what we're gonna look at. It will be a great experience.
We're here with Cordap Coast and Ocean Revive, learning about the importance of reef health, coral health, and also planting some coral as well.
We are going to do scuba diving. We are going to replant some corals and watching the technique and trying to do it. It's good to have this opportunity to learn and understand a little bit more about these beautiful animals.
We're about to jump in the water. I'm snorkeling. I'll be on shark watch. Apparently this reef is called Shark Reef, so I'll be on the lookout for any visitors.
Here he is. We have corals that we grow in land-based nurseries, and today we're going to outplant some of them in the reef just to show a quick and innovative way how to do it that we developed here at KAUST. So corals are tremendously important. They are ecosystem engineers, so they build reefs similar to the trees in the rainforest. If we don't have the trees, we don't have the rainforest. That's the same for corals. So a lot of people depend on them for fisheries, tourism, and also for coastal protection. If we lose local reefs, we have to reverse engineer them for coastal protection. A lot of the storms that come in are hampered off tremendously by coral reefs.
The coral reefs of the Red Sea rank amongst the best in terms of conservation status across the ocean, but yet we are seeing the fingerprint of climate change impacting on the coral reefs. Shark Reef has lost about half of the living coral cover due to a bleaching event last year. Through the Legacy project, Extreme E and the drivers of Extreme E are helping replant, and so we wish to secure a future for coral reefs, not just for us, but for our children and our grandchildren.
We saw so many beautiful corals and fish, and it was just vibrating with life. The only way to save them is really by this research and by common knowledge, and that we need to protect them. So what we can provide as drivers and Extreme E is just the awareness. You can't get sustainable unless people know about it and unless people, just kind of appreciate the value of the nature that we got out there.
So Laura Winter is down in the paddock doing a fantastic job as always. We've caught up with a lot of our fantastic females this weekend, so we thought we'd catch up with some of the males as well. We've got 3 of the male drivers who are heading into the redemption race to do battle for those championship points.
It's always worth watching the redemption race. The final points are up for grabs from the weekend, but it also brings about the grudge match we've all been waiting for, and that is the race in which Travis Pastrana may just finally achieve, I think, a lifelong ambition to beat Matthias Ekström. Matthias, how are you feeling ahead of this one?
Yeah, I'm excited for any race, but battling with Travis have always been pretty funny, as most all the time, but there will always come a day when the story comes to an end, so let's see if it's today.
Is it today, Travis? Are you going to end him? What have you said to Gray as well? Because she'll actually be racing against him, won't she?
Well, if he has anything to do with it, I mean, the goal, like the first race this morning, I was able to get out to a little bit of a lead. It wasn't enough, but I said, look, if I can do my job, and you happen to see an orange vehicle behind you, this is the biggest moment of my entire life. Daytona 500, X Games, nothing means anything. I said, look, you need to make sure that whatever happens, this car does not pass my car. Now that's if I do my job. There's a lot of people that are trying to make sure that I don't get this car in front of him to start with, but.
You're keeping it really cool there, not putting the pressure on Gray whatsoever.
No pressure on Gray. Well, the first day we said, let's just have fun.
Yeah.
And then the second day we put a lot of pressure on Gray, and she went leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
Honestly, her performance today was, I was almost crying. I was so happy for her. And if I just got through the pits a little bit better, I think we would have been a chance for the final. So very happy with Legacy, very happy with Gray, and I cannot wait. This guy's going to have to hopefully get around her if I do my job.
Andreas, you're not just here to hold a microphone yourself.
Sure?
How are you going to try and get in the middle of this?
I mean, I've raced with both of them as teammates, and I need to get in the middle there and elbows out into.
Can you just
yeah. All of a sudden, I'm turning sides here now.
How much are you looking forward to getting back out there and learning a bit more as well with Dania?
Very much. Dania is starting the redemption race, and then. Like you said, we need the efficiency up a little bit in the switch zone, and then from there I need to see where we are.
And Matthias as well. Christina had an epic battle, almost getting you guys through to that grand final after yesterday. I bet you're hungry for it out there.
Yeah, we had a very difficult part one of my race with Kevin, but I managed to stay in front, and we had a little issue in the switch, so they got back in front, and then she had a really cool battle again, and unfortunately, P2 wasn't just enough to get to the final, but anyway, now it's time to battle these two boys.
I can't wait to see this. Hope your car is back on form as well. Thank you all very much. Best of luck.
Attention all teams. Stand by for the start of the Desert X Prix. The redemption race is about to commence. Energize your systems and prepare to race.
Andreas Backward, all smiles, smack in the middle of your picture there. Teams get themselves ready to go out and win that. There he is, look. He's really up for it, isn't he? He's one of those ones who's willing to put the crash on very late. Left-hand side of your picture, you can see Gray Ledbetter. I love the rivalry between Travis and Matthias Ekstrom. It's so much fun, isn't it? Awesome. That is Sun Mini Mills, Clara Anderson. Timo Scheider in the car first, of course. We've got an equal split of male and female drivers starting this race. Here we go.
Let me take you through the grid. So we've got Timo Scheider lining up for Sun Mini Meals. Then Neil McLaren, you've got Cristina Gutierrez, Daniel Akil for JBXC, and Travis Pastrana in Legacy MC.
Yesterday's finals were absolutely epic. What is today going to bring? 10 seconds to the start. The winner of this race gets more championship points than the last place in the final, which just gives them that little bit more redemption. Glad we've done that. Gives us a bit more meaning for this one. Timo Scheider on the outside gets a good start straight away. Everybody except Scheider has used their Renault hyperdrive, so Scheider we can only assume is going for the extra move. He'll try and cut back. Heads right out wide. Gutierrez is on the extra line too, but coming around the outside line. Contact! Dania Akil goes straight over in the JBXC machine. So Akil is out in turn one. She rolls the car after contact. Andreas backward. Unfortunately, the smile is gone. The red flag is out straight away. Ah, that's a bit of a bummer. So red flag. Everybody going to head back slowly. She went over. It was a soft roll. It's in the sand. She will be fine. I'm absolutely certain of that. But obviously, we will check on that before anything else. Oh, what a shame.
Tough,
yeah.
Really tough break for her. She's doing so well to familiarise herself with the team. And then obviously that roll, it was a big roll, but hopefully she'll be okay. 3 drivers out there.
One after contact.
So we'll find out what race control decides to do in terms of whether we restart, or obviously they're using some energy to take the cars around the course. So whether they do a one-lap run for these cars off the start line. I mean, what they often do is restart them from the switch zone, but of course it was in turn one. We have to have a split. We do have a split. I mean, the split is 1.7 between the top two, then 7.3, which doesn't seem quite right, does it? Maybe that's at the second waypoint.
Yeah, so it's hard to get a reading from that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. I'd say race control will make the decisions on that, and we'll just bring those to you. But that's not the way we wanted to start this. I'm rather hopeful that we might just go back and do a full restart, but there might be wishful thinking on my part.
It's good to be wishful thinking.
It is. Yes, be positive, Jenny.
Yes.
Let's just go back and do it again. It's fine.
Yeah, so you can see that the drivers are having a bit of communication with their team. They're probably asking what happened,
Chris,
is everything
can you
right?
go all the way back to the start line? You do not go back to the switch zone, so do not come into the switch zone. Go back to the start line.
Okay, well, this is when it's awesome for us, because the teams get the information
to go directly to the start line. I don't know why.
Yes, that is correct, Chris. Go directly back to the start line. Go directly back to the start line.
Okay, so Christina was asking, why is the marshal sending me to the start line, not the switch zone? And Lena Gade is on the radio saying that's the decision from race control, back to the start. Now, what they may do there, if you remember, is they'll release them off the start at intervals, which was the last known interval. Now, we've got an interval on our screen which shows Scheider 7.3 back. Unless he had to back off to avoid Dania Akil, they will probably release the cars at those gaps, which will put Scheider quite a long way back. But
So they haven't done a full lap. They've just taken the first sector, not even that, and then managed to turn around and go back to the start.
Which is good for us, yeah. So I'm hopeful of a full race distance, but we might see one. There she is. Dania Akil is out of the car. That's the news we were looking for. We've said it a million times. We're not really worried about the cars. We only ever worry about people, and she's absolutely fine. Rough end to her weekend racing at home, but I'm so glad that we managed to get a female Saudi Arabian driver competing in top-level motorsport in Saudi Arabia. It's a big day for the sport.
Yeah, I think so. A really big step forward, as you say, and a really big step forward to be able to hear the communications between the team
it's cool, isn't
and the driver. It's a new thing this year, and I'm loving it. It gives us a further insight into what's actually happening, and it's immediate. So you hear it as quickly as we do.
Cristina Gutierrez there just checking the power steering.
They're going a bit fast, aren't they?
Correct.
They are, aren't
so
they?
you have hyperdrive again, and all the others as well.
There we go. Everybody giving their hyperdrive again for the restart. This is great. These radio calls are saving us so much time and so many WhatsApps. Normally about now, me and Jenny are frantically going through our list of contacts and asking people what's going to happen, because various different things have happened when we change it. Oh, poor Andreas Backerud. I'm gutted for him. He's remember that Andreas has competed with most of these drivers in various series, World Rallycross, Nitro Cross, Extreme E, at the highest level, and he's had a bit of a rough run recently. They haven't managed to get the pace out of the JBXE machine, and I know he's desperate to get back in the fight, Jenny. It's frustrating when he used to being right up at the sharp end, and he's not quite there. So
absolutely. It's really interesting watching the recovery of these cars. They're really heavy, they're built very well, they have the suspension on them, so they're just going to pull it back. It'll bounce a bit, but it won't hurt it.
Bit different to F1, isn't it, mate? Bit different to F1. So they are sending Dania Akil to the media centre, the medical centre. She might go to the media centre later, yeah, afterwards for the quotes. In the meantime, she's going for a checkup. But as we saw, she was walking herself to the ambulance, and that is always a good sign.
That's just a precaution of any impact in any motorsport, and we like to keep up. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, so you see, she just wasn't expecting Gutierrez to come in from the outside. To be fair, Gutierrez shut the door on Dania Akil, but Akil maybe won't have been across those high-speed moves coming in. Yeah, Gutierrez took the extra line, but the apex was blocked, and she had enough pace to try and go around the outside, so she sort of slotted in across the front. Here we go, here's another angle. Look how far out wide she is. She's going to be hoping that they all check up a bit more, and oh, it's the tiniest of contacts, but it's wheel on wheel, and that puts a lot of energy into the car straight away. Christine GZ is down on site for us. GZ, I hate to bring it up, but you've had a fairly big crash in these cars, and they are pretty strong. I know you hurt your leg, but we were thankful to see Dania walking away from the car.
Oh, thank you, Andrew. Lovely to talk about this.
Yeah, sorry.
No, yes, it's okay.
Welcome.
I think I'll go back to race control now. No, yeah. It was a harsh one, and you know, it's a little bit. I think the worst part is kind of not getting back in the car instantly, you know, like the fact that now everything is over for her is gonna kind of a little bit of a bittersweet memory. So that's, I think, the only worst part, because in the end of the day, like you saw, she got out with absolutely no problem. The car is super strong. So yeah, it's just sad, you know, that she can't just get in and show that everything is fine.
Yeah, sure, and I think that's as much for your own confidence as anything, isn't it? You know, they always say, don't they, if you fall off the horse, you need to get straight back on, and I understand that. So you would rather, wouldn't you, have a crash on day one and get back in the car on day two and find your confidence again?
Yeah, 100%. I think that's also what happened to me a little bit. You know, I was off also for like 6 months, so it was kind of harsh to just be at home with the leg up. And well, in my case, because I broke it, but you know, it's just mentally, I think it destroys you a little bit.
Now, Christine, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Dakar rally this year. You went and did the Dakar, didn't you, and got some serious mileage, and I know you would have worked incredibly hard to raise the budget for that. Give us a brief story about how you got on. That was out in Saudi Arabia as well.
Yeah, it's been my dream for 8 years, so I'm so happy that, you know, it was possible. Of course, it was so hard. It was like a little bit of a nightmare every day, I have to say. Also, in our case, like you said, we took us a lot to raise the budget, and it was kind of half of it was borrowed, and you know, the difficult that you would do anything to get there. And then, of course, each day it was just, I don't know, things happened, like, you know, we broke a diff, we didn't have parts, so we just continued like that in two-wheel drive. And you know, all the waypoints, of course, are in the worst position ever, so you're like, how do I get up there? So most of the time you're basically taking sand out and trying to survive the race. But it was so cool to be able to just, you know, finally do it and understand what they're living and so on. So it was so cool, and we did a few P10s, like with the car how we had, with like stock shocks and everything. I'm pretty happy about it. So.
And if I'm right, I'm just looking at your WhatsApp, your profile picture. Is that the Dakar medal that you've got in your mouth there?
Yeah, and it's like I have it in my salon. It's super heavy. It's super big. When you see it, you're just like, yeah, it was worth it.
I'm so pleased you managed to achieve a lifetime dream. It's on my bucket list, the Dakar. I very nearly did it one year, and I missed out, sadly, and I really want to do it one time. So we have 1 minute 30 to start, so we're going to get back focused on Extreme E Round 2. We are, thankfully, going for a straight restart. It happened very quickly at the start of the race, that we've cleared everything up nice and fast as well. And we're going to go for a straight restart off the line here.
So they'll get 1 lap, come into the switch, and then the other driver will take over and do 2 laps. So that's a 3-lap race, starting with 1 lap for the current drivers at the restart.
So, slight change of plan, but at least a proper restart. That's what I like. I don't mind them setting off at intervals, but it's not as fun as turn 1, is it?
No, and not as much jeopardy. We've seen that already, and I think the drivers will understand that and know that that is an issue, and they need to watch themselves and each other.
I think they'll be very aware of what's going on. Be interesting to see now. Remember, everybody's got their Renault hyperdrive back from what we were hearing from race control. Cristina Gutierrez was just on the radio back to the team. Travis reaches down to the dash, gets the car set in position. Remember, Akil and Bakkerud are gone in the number 22 JBXE machine. Gutierrez's graphic isn't showing a hyperdrive, but I'm sure she'll be given one, so forgive us for that. When that light goes white, we're within 15 seconds of the start. There it is. Now you get your countdown. When it goes green, we'll be away. Travis Pastrana for Legacy Motor Club. Cristina Gutierrez for Neon McLaren. Timo Scheider for Sun at Mini Meal on the outside. Take 2, let's go. Green light, big reaction time on both sides of the grid. Timo Scheider and Travis Pastrana. Pastrana, look at the nose of the car rise when he used the Anoa hyperdrive. He's got 1 lap, he's keen to get it done. Timo Scheider squeezing for the outside. Gutierrez moves to the inside line in the Neon McLaren. She comes through turn 1, pitches almost up onto 2 wheels. Just about holds on. Scheider going to pass her on the exit though. Timo Scheider with a wider entry, now looking to the inside line of Travis Pastrana. Pastrana for Legacy Motor Club, up and over the crest, gets the whole shot in this one. Timo Scheider in close behind, and Cristina Gutierrez in P3. Jenny?
There's a whole load of sand and mud just picking up, and you really can't see if you're second and third. And you don't know when it's going to come. It's like a sandball just kicking up in front of you.
Yeah, and you can see where the track is dry as well, that the dust keeps up a bit more. I think the biggest thing for me is the lack of momentum when you hit a rut badly. Johan said yesterday, didn't he? You can gain half a second, but often you lose a second. 2 wheels again for Gutierrez. So the rut's coming later today than they did yesterday. Travis Pastrana with a 2.2 second lead. I'm just looking down to see who's going to be in the car. So he wants to hand over, remember, to Gray Ledbetter.
Gutierrez going around the outside of the Sun Mini Meals car. Can she make the car stick? No, it's not quite there for her this time, but she'll try on the inside. Not there either.
She's taking some risks, isn't she? Up on 2 wheels a minute ago.
That's good, Cristina. Keep pushing him. Keep pushing him.
So saying keep pushing him. She wants the pressure applied to Timo Scheider in front. It's one of the very dry sections of the track. The wind thankfully clearing the dust from the drivers behind. Pastrana now with a 3.4 second lead. So he wants to give Gray Ledbetter the best chance possible. Imagine if they come home with a win in the redemption race. It's a win. At the end of the day, he will be really, well, he'll be partly pleased because it will mean he's beaten Matthias Ekstrom. but it would be a great start for Legacy Motor Club, wouldn't it, to take a race win here?
Yeah, you don't want to come into the new championship and just turn around at the end and make up the numbers.
No.
Travis Pastrana and Jimmy Johnson team up with Gray Ledbetter. You want to come in with a bang, and they are doing just that.
They definitely are. They're coming with a bang on the timesheets, that's for sure. Both have been impressing us. 1 lap down, they're going to be coming into the switch zone at the end of this one. We're going to have a catch-up with Christine GZ while they do. So, GZ, they're heading into the switch now. What are you thinking about the track conditions? We've seen a few cars up on 2 wheels. I know you've been out doing some of the rides because we've been borrowing Patrick to do the commentary. So, coming in hot in the background. Gutierrez just gets his stop. Yeah, what are the track conditions like, GZ?
Yeah, I was actually out before, like you said, with the VIP laps, and I actually was able to do one with the Odyssey, so I really have the feeling of it. The ruts were huge, and like exactly where Cristina was on 2 wheel, in between 5 to 7. The holes are really, really big. Oh, look, something coming down.
It's just the light. The light that was from the contact actually on the first lap of the first race. It was hanging down on the start grid, I noticed. Travis gets the car into neutral, opens up the door. He'll climb out now. Said, if you're not familiar, remember he had a knee replacement about 6 weeks ago, which is just unbelievable. He was on a bike exercising it the 2 or 3 days afterwards. On his Instagram, just desperate trying to get some movement back in. He's had a lot of major surgeries from a life spent having it. properly sending it. On 2 wheels 4, jumping out of planes without parachutes. He's a wild, wild man.
45 seconds is all they get for the switch zone. And I know he felt like he was letting the team down by not doing it quickly enough. So we're working on that. And it's just something that, unfortunately, has to happen. Oh, you can see he's hopping and just trying to get... He has to be clear of that zone. And he is clear, and now they're going, go, go, go.
Did you hear the beep there? So they've got a timer with an audible beep, and you actually heard the beep and sent her off. So fingers crossed that's a nice, clean changeover. Saw Travis, as Jenny said, running out, and good to see. So they are in the lead by, what was it? It was 4.0 when they came in.
Do you think that Sun Mini Mills car is okay? It's vibrating a lot.
Well, so I've noticed this a few times with the McLaren actually at slow speed over the bumps, and quite often these cars, any competition car, don't work that well going slowly. You know, they just chatter about because the impacts they're used to are much harder. So when you start leaning on the car and using it properly, it works. Oh, look at this. Already, Ekstrom jumping to the inside line, trying to find a way past Clara Anderson. So Clara Anderson trying to defend. Ekstrom goes ultra long.
Let's go for a push lap. Come on, you can do it.
Inside
Push.
now. They're saying push, push, push. Is he inside Clara Anderson coming into the left-hander at turn 5? He is. So Ekstrom is making short work here, or trying to, but Clara Anderson's not going to let him have that. No way. She fights back for Sun Mini Mills. Ekstrom, look at him. Looks like he's on a Sunday afternoon drive, and yet he's pushing really hard. He's teed her up through 2 corners now. Watch out in the background, who get a good exit to the inside line here. Very wet there to try and keep the dust down.
Do you know what? We've seen this before from Clara. She's absolutely magic and making the moves and trying to make it as wide as possible. Is there a way through for Ekstrom here? Yes, it seems like he has done it, but can Clara fight back?
They both use their Renault hyperdrive there. They hit the button at almost exactly the same point. So he's already had an update now. Look at Gutierrez. She's shaking her head. So why is she shaking her head?
Yeah, 1 second.
Really, she's disappointed. Christina Gutierrez is really disappointed, but I can't see what for. So... OK, out front, Gray Ledbetter has a gap of 5 seconds over Matthias Ekstrom. I've said it a few times today, but Gray is 19 years old. She's an experienced off-road racer, but behind her is a World Rallycross champion, a double DTM champion, a multiple winner of the Racer Champions, and Travis Pastrana's greatest rival, it seems. He said, whatever happens, do not let the orange car pass. So let's see. He would love this. He would absolutely love this if Gray can hold on to the position. She's got to do it for a whole nother lap after this.
And that pressure seems to be really inspiring her, moving her, letting her get to the best of her ability. So some people, that pressure can really mount and take its toll, but on her, she seems to be flying high and really enjoying it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Travis's speech this morning as they left the hotel is on his Instagram. I think he put with a crying smile, not my greatest motivational speech ever, as he told Gray, look, you're going to be going up against 3 of the best off-road drivers in the world. Literally, that was what he said to her about 6 o'clock this morning. But as you say, it's worked. The pressure has gone in her favour. So I'm excited to see what she can achieve. Yes, Ekstrom is closing the gap down, though she's just actually up by 0.5. She also still has her Inoa hyperdrive. It's just a case of making sure that you use it at the right moment to keep the gap long enough to keep this man behind her.
Well, we heard from Laura. She spoke about defence when she was in that interview. So this is offense and defense playing off against each other. We're going to the US and speaking the speak.
Yeah, they are indeed. Look at Travis. There he is in the command centre. She's got just 2/3 of a lap to go. 2/3 of a lap to go. The gap is 1.6 seconds. Can Ledbetter hold on? Ekstrom closing down the gap now. He's very accurate on the flag on the inside. The gap's down to 0.9. He takes 6/10 off her in that section there. Goes back up to a second. Now he's out wide, look, on the sand. Ledbetter, look at the speed he's carrying into here. Gray Ledbetter on the inside line comes through with a lot of pace. Ekstrom's going to get a good exit.
And Ledbetter used her Renault hyperdrive there just to defend again.
So did she get it on the exit? Well, so on the exit, no, maybe on the way in. You only get 4 seconds, so you want to try and use that on the exit of a corner if you can. Ekstrom tucked in tight behind. We've got about 7 sectors still to go to get to the end of the lap. Here we go, through the left-hander. You're on board with Ekstrom. Can he get past Gray Ledbetter at the end of this lap? She's just got enough. It's 1.1 second. It'll be the really, really high-speed braking zones that Ekstrom will try at. This could be one at the top of the hill. I'm not sure he's going to be close enough.
This is the end of the Continental Traction Challenge, and I tell you what, Gray is holding on for dear life, and she's doing a really good job.
Look at Travis. Oh, but watching the top corner of your screen, coming through, trying to make his way, going to go wide and tight.
Trying the inside.
Just holding on. Ledbetter moves to the inside line. She's doing this.
Yes, girl,
oh,
do
come
this.
on, Gray. Hold him off, hold him off. Oh, now Extra moves to the inside, and he's got her past in the final corner.
Can she go the cut
Just
back?
loses out.
Come back, you get it back.
This is going to go right to the end.
Over the line, Ekstrom just holds on, but Gray Ledbetter at 19 years old, 0.6
Good job,
of a second
Matthias.
behind.
Good job.
Absolutely brilliant.
Go to the stop sign.
Unlucky for Travis, he hugs
let
Cristina
me know where he needs to go
Gutierrez.
after that.
Fantastic race between those. Oh, Gray, don't be disappointed. You have done yourself proud and everyone is impressed. Absolutely brilliant stuff from our new team, Legacy Motor Club.
Copy
There we
that,
are.
Matthias.
Ekstrom's
I
happy.
haven't said what you should do, but head back to the tent, please. Head back to the tent. Prue, the car will be in park there.
Do you know what?
They got told
That
off.
really moved me.
What, Gray Ledbetter? Yeah.
Just the fight.
Yeah.
It was so clean, so pure, and you got someone who's got years, decades of experience up against a newbie, and they both did great.
So we're going to go down and have a catch-up with Travis Pastrana, who is in the Vodafone Business Command Centre. Looking forward to find out what he thought about all that. Travis, what a debut weekend for you in Extreme and for Gray. I know both you and me and Jenny here in London have been singing the praises of yourself, but and Gray Ledbetter as well. She nearly did it, mate. You nearly beat Matthias Ekstrom. Nearly.
Gray nearly just did something that I've never been able to do my whole life. She did absolutely phenomenal. This Legacy team is awesome. This was so much fun. I'm going to have to say, though, it's not fair running one lap for the one group and 2 laps for the other, because the strategy would have completely been different. But at the end of the day, that's racing. It was a great battle, and I'm super proud of Gray. I was super fun out here, and just want to thank all the team. And Jimmy, good luck in the 500.
Have you enjoyed it, Travis, Extreme? Obviously, your first experience of a brand new series. Have you had fun?
Does it look like I had fun, man? I tell you what, it has been absolutely awesome. It's so great racing, so many of the best in the world, and just really excited to be a part of just all the different racing formats, and to see Legacy Motor Corp come into this, Motor Club, sorry. It means the world for off-road racing. It's so cool to see what Extreme is doing, and look forward to taking that to Nitrocross.
Awesome, Travis. I'll see you there for the finale. Well done. So Travis Pastrana, after a brilliant debut weekend with Gray Ledbetter, and just great to see another female driver come in. We knew Travis would be quick, but to see Gray's progression through the course of the weekend has been epic.
Right, this was the results. JBXC didn't finish, unfortunately. Daniel Akil is actually at the medical centre at the moment. Sun Mini Mills in third. Second, you just heard from the man, Travis Pastrana and Gray Ledbetter, just 0.69 seconds behind Matthias Ekstrom and Cristina Gutierrez, who won the redemption race. Not the race that he would have liked to have won, but anyway, he did win it, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, great stuff. Brilliant race between them, wasn't it? Absolutely fantastic. Oh, well, I wonder if we can get the finals to be quite that close, Jenny. What was the final yesterday, wasn't it? Was it? No, it was 0.16, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was closer. I was looking at it thinking, was it 1.6? But no, it was 0.16. And at 0.6, yeah, okay, that was close enough. But yeah, stay with us, because I think the final's going to be absolutely epic. I really do. Drivers are getting themselves lined up already. The tension is rising in the Vodafone Business Command Centre. We're getting ourselves ready for one last race in Saudi Arabia. Okay, grand final. We're going to go racing very soon indeed. Less than a minute before we send these cars off the line. They will have just watched the redemption race to see exactly what was going on. And I think they'll have been pretty staggered by the racing, as we were. Drivers, you can see, are getting flustered to get the gear on and get going. Can RXR make it 2 from 2 at the start of the season?
So this is the grid Acciona Science with Fraser McConnell at the wheel. Then it's Andretti El Tequila with Timmy Hansen at the wheel. RXR alongside them, Michaela Arlen Kotlinski. A perfect weekend so far for that team. Can they keep it up? And Veloce, car 5 with Molly Taylor at the wheel.
That wide shot of the grid with the sand just drifting in over it was absolutely fantastic. We are literally seconds away. McConnell's got the car loaded up. He's looking across. There'll be no blinking now until they get away. Fraser McConnell on the inside line with Timmy Hansen next to him. They'll be looking to hold off Arlen Kotlinski and Molly Taylor. Will they go wide and try the extra line or not? There you can see Noah hyperdrives from everyone except Arlen Kotlinski, who's going to hang back at the back of the pack. 2 cars wide, 3 cars wide, I thought. Molly Taylor goes up the inside and Timmy Hansen. There is 0 visibility in the back of the pack there. Arlen Kotlinski uses the Noah hyperdrive now on the run down to the next corner, gets inside. Oh, manages 1 pass. That was late on the hyperdrive, but she did manage to get past Molly Taylor. But it's Fraser McConnell who leads at the moment for Acciona Science P2. It's Timmy Hansen for Andretti Autokili, and an enormous jump, almost on the nose for Arlen Kotlinski. That came down hard. I thought she might go end over end, but she's got away with it. She's absolutely sending it out there.
The conditions out there, though, are really tough, and you can see RXR slipping back a bit. Have they got a problem with the car? That was a massive, massive jump.
Yeah, it really was a heavy landing. I thought the same thing, Jenny. When they drop the pace just slightly, you do wonder, don't you? The Veloce Chrome works well in the sun, doesn't it, in terms of flashing the car behind? The other teams will be looking at that and seeing if they can make it work. McConnell with a 1.6-second lead for Acciona Science at the moment. Timmy Hansen in close behind. 2 laps each, remember, for these drivers, thanks to not having a red flag at the start of this one. Yesterday's winners at the back of the pack at the minute, but 4 seconds separating the 4 cars, all still to play for.
Yeah, Acciona Science at the top of the standings at the moment. McConnell with a 1 second 30, but that gap is getting closed down. Timmy Hansen doing a great job at the moment behind the wheel.
Molly Taylor now 3.5. There's only 4.5 across that top 4. Everybody's used their Renault hyperdrive. Remember, the second drivers are much more likely to save it. Fraser McConnell's just gone quickest in sector number 2 in this one. There you're taking a look at Carlos Sainz. McConnell's team boss, Laia Sanz, now leaves the Vodafone Business Command Centre and heads up to the switch zone. It's only a short walk, but you want to be out there. You don't want to be out of breath. You want to be fully focused, ready for that 45-second split. Christine GZ is down on site for us. GZ, what's your thoughts? It's looking tricky out there.
Yeah, pretty tricky. Also, Michaela's move was really amazing. I was expecting her to stay at the front. I'm very impressed also about Molly, how she moved back on. So I think it's great. I mean, of course, let's see what happens now.
Yeah, indeed. Still 2 laps to go here. Well, 2 laps after the switch, sorry, up to the finish line and around.
Do you know, I was listening earlier to what Patrick O'Donovan said to you.
Yes.
He said turns 2, 13 and 17. The bank is forming and making it really treacherous. And these are some of the most treacherous turns, and that jump with its landing as well. The car's doing a really good job, the R.02, but you have to be aware that those are the points, the pressure points that you need to keep it clean.
Listen to that. I love the rise of the RPM as they come up. You hear the electric motors rise right up in the RPM as they clear the crest, and the weight comes off the Continental tyres and they just spin up. The front 2 now, McConnell and Hansen have managed to put a bit of a gap in. It's 4 seconds back to Molly Taylor for Veloce, and then a further 1.5 back to Michaela Arlen Kotlinski at the back. Is the RXR machine carrying any damage from that jump landing? It was one of the biggest jumps of the weekend. There should be an award for that, really, shouldn't there?
Yes.
There really should. You're on board with McConnell now. Remember, yesterday he ended the day on his side after closing the gap down. It was a big 7-8 second gap. He got within 4 seconds of the leaders. He was trying to make a pass on Molly Taylor and just ended the race with a car on the side. He will have been disappointed by that.
Good stuff, that's 2 tenths, 2 tenths.
Look at the ruts here.
Keep it clean,
look
close
at the
up,
ruts.
close it, close it.
Wow, 2 tenths is saying to Hansen, push, 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 close down on McConnell.
Yeah, just thinking about Sainz, they would love a win here. After the disappointment of last year, obviously a new teammate coming in for Fraser McConnell, he would love, after the split yesterday, to pay back the team. Carlos Sainz Sr. is there, he's watching on, he'll like to impress him, I'm sure. Yeah,
my thoughts were that's exactly where I was going to go with it. Is the same thing, that the gap goes up a bit. You see the bad bounce for Hansen coming out the previous corner. You see Arlen Kotlinski in the background gets similar. Just costs you a tenth, but if you keep adding that up through that, now Timmy comes back by 2 tenths. Gap comes down just a little bit, but they're coming into the switch zone. Yeah, Fraz would love to pick up the win with Laia Sanz. So would Laia after the way the end of last season. What me and Jenny have been discussing a few times off air is the fact there are 5 or 6 teams here who are capable of being in the final at the minute, and that's not to say the other teams won't get there later in the year. As long as each of those top teams misses out here and there, this is going to be an incredibly close championship. So yesterday, for instance, Andretti Autokili, who nearly ran into the back of Fraser McConnell, didn't make it. Today they do. Neil McLaren made it yesterday. Today they haven't. Now, what they've got to hope, the other teams, is they can stop RXR from making all the finals. If we get that split of top teams not quite making the cut, I think it's going to be very, very close this year.
Look, this is a replay. Look how close they're getting. This is the RXR over the top of the crest.
Oh!
Ouch.
That's, yeah, and that's the noise there is not the noise of the suspension landing, so that's a pretty heavy landing. It seems to be okay. I don't think you'd have maintained that pace if there was a major issue with the car. McConnell pulls his comms, pulls all the belts and jumps out the car. He'll run around the other side now and start to help belting on this side for Laya Sands.
And Johan will have had a good look at that car when it comes in the RXR and just trying to work out, right, is there any damage? What do I need to do to control this and to try and work back up the order?
Did you spot him earlier on today? He ran around the back of the car as he got out and had a little look at it, and knowing Johan, he'll probably have run around the front of the car, which is the normal direction they go, and just checked out the front end. So McConnell had a 1.2 second lead when he came in. He's handing over to Laya Sands. Timmy Hansen is handing over to Katie Munnings. Arlen Kotlinski to Johan Kristoffersson. So Johan 10.5 seconds back. We have seen him come back from gaps like that before, but I think this track is really hard to make up time on, because it's so fast and sweeping. That's not to say he won't go for it. It's the end of a weekend. There's a few months before the next round. I think it might be send the clock.
Wow, look at that RXR right at the back of Veloce.
Yeah, there's contact, look.
Pushing.
There's contact, I love that. There's the chatter again. You see when the car's going slowly, and as soon as you start leaning on it, the suspension will start working. And who else is in? Who's gone in the car as well? I've completely lost myself.
It's Kevin Hansen, Johan Kristoffersson, Katie Munnings and Laya Sands at the front of this field. Laya Sands, disappointed last year. They've only won twice in Extreme E history. Andretti won once. Veloce won 3 times, and RXR at the back of this field, wanting to get to the front, have won 9 times. That is what they're contending with. So the race is on. This is round 2, first weekend of Extreme E Season 4. Hopefully, you're enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it. It's been absolutely fantastic. I know Jenny's had a slightly rougher weekend than me, but great to have your voice back. Great to have you back on air, mate. Welcome back.
This is good. This is good.
So we're hearing you're closing. This is good. That's Munnings on Sands. The gap was 2.5. It's down to 1.5 now. Keep your eyes on the bottom of that screen. Looks like Kevin Hansen has already used his Inoa hyperdrive in his attempt to get the Eon Veloce machine back onto the front two. But this is what I mean about the gap being quite hard to close, Jenny. We're halfway through the first lap, and Johan's only taken 2/10 out of the lead of Katie Munnings. He, of course, is in behind as well, and again, bicycling big time.
That banking is really hard, isn't it? They're looking for some clean air, I'd say, but clean sand.
No, true, yeah, they are.
But actually,
smooth road, and there isn't much out there, particularly these sections here. So that braking zone is only 1 car wide. There's nothing you can do. It's like in a rally when the roads get cut up, you end up just running in on the sump guard. No sumps in these cars, of course, but they still have guards underneath to protect all the electrics and the transmissions. And you get to the point where the car's bottoming out, and you're actually surfing in on that guard at the bottom of the car. And those ruts on that braking zone at the back are really big.
yeah, that's tough, isn't it? Christine GZ, what do you think? What would you say to the drivers right now?
Yeah, I mean, I was out there before, and it was so rutted, and the holes after the jumps were becoming like so big that literally your whole car basically goes in. So I can't even imagine without seeing, with all the sand they get at the back. It's crazy. And also, like you were saying before, they all have so much pace right now. I mean, look at Katie, like, you know, it's just incredible. So the guys are not even kind of making time at the back. It's crazy. It's a beautiful race.
Yeah, it's great to see, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant. You think season 1, that gap would have been eaten alive, and now the female drivers are so fast. Travis has said it. Everyone who comes into this series is like, wow, the pace is really hot. You've got to be on it absolutely everywhere. Backwood said it yesterday about Donia, and Keeley said, you know, she's used to driving in the desert. Oh, wow, Katie Munnings skies it. You saw Laya Sands lift off the throttle, the nose came down.
Stay right on them.
Katie Munnings with the nose up high. So Kevin Hansen and Kristoffersson still in position, 5.5 and 8.4 back. The gap's come down just a little bit, but we are on the final lap now. Inoa hyperdrive still to deploy for those front two. We've seen them deployed in similar positions, haven't we, to defend before?
Yeah, Munnings is really impressing me this weekend. She just seems to have the bit between the teeth. This is a new car for this weekend after the disaster last time, and she's pushing Laya Sands all the way. She wants to make her move, and she's lining her up, teeing her up all the time.
listening to the constant radio encouragement. Look at that, though. In, look, 0.9 behind, and then look at lie ahead. Look at the ruts here. Look at the ruts here. It's absolutely outrageous how deep they've got. There is no alternate line through there.
Can you use them for anything?
Yeah, you can railroad them a bit. That's the point, is you can lean on them a little bit like you would lean on a snowbank, but it gets to the point where you have no choice of line, and in the narrow stuff, it's going to be very tricky indeed to get a pass done.
Legacy Motor Club at the moment are leading the standings in the Continental Traction Challenge.
That's brilliant.
This is the last chance that anyone's got to snatch those 2 points away. You can bet your bottom dollar that the others will want to stay up the, well,
I think that's it done. Yeah, unless they get it done now as they cross the line coming out of it, I just can't see that the pace is still in the track to do that. They did that in Q1 this morning when it was super smooth. Right, Laya Sands, Legacy Motor Club do get it. So Pastrana does beat Ekstrom at something this weekend, and it's a great result. Andretti fire up the Inoa Hyperdrive, trying to close down that gap. But it looks like Laya Sands might just have enough out front. Now she uses hers. Yesterday, the Acciona Science machine ended on its side. The end of last season, it ended on its side. This would be brilliant, brilliant redemption for both of them. New signing Fraser McConnell takes the win with last year's champion-elect Laya Sands. Acciona Science get the win from Katie Mullins and Timmy Hansen. A brilliant performance by the Andretti Autokilit pair, who are very much back on form. Kevin Hansen and Molly Taylor coming home in P3. Fantastic. What a start to the year. We are in for a hell of a season. How cool was that?
Power cycle. No lo hagas, lo ha pasado antes a Fraser.
I want to speak Spanish. Come on, someone text me and say what they said.
Manténme informada, ¿vale? Y
brilliant. So pleased for them. Deserved.
Do you know what? I'm so pleased for them, but I'm also pleased for the championship.
Yes, me too.
Because this, if you thought that RXR were going to walk away with it, think again, because there are so many good teams out there, so many dynamics out there, that, I mean, this just sets up the rest of the championship really, really well.
Here's the result then of the final. P4, RXR, yesterday's winners, 8 seconds back, Kristoffersen and Arlen Kotlinski. P3, Ion Veloce, Molly Taylor and Kevin Hansen. P2, Andretti Autokilit, Timmy Hansen, and Katie Mullins. And the winners, Fraser McConnell and Laya Sands for Acciona Science. Fantastic. That is McConnell's third win and Laya Sands' third win as well, of course, and their first win together. Fantastic stuff. Loosening off the belts. I'm just tightening back up a little bit now. Pressure's off.
It's really a happy hunting ground for her.
Yeah.
She's so happy in the sands.
Brilliant. That was between her and Mullins as well. Yes, the position didn't change, but that was quite the encounter. You know, the pressure, Katie never let up. Were it not for a few little bad bounces coming out the ruts, I think there would have been more opportunities, but it's the end of the day, of course, and that means that it's hard. Look, Laya Sands has a little looking through the window, Katie. Yes, rightly so.
Do you know what? I hope they're both happy with that, because they both deserve to celebrate that. Because it was tremendous, tremendous performance.
Well done, that was sick. Well done, Laya.
Oh, that's so, you see, that's so cool how much she enjoyed it. This is why we do this, because we love a good race. Fantastic. You know, Katie, of course she wanted to win, but she said it was sick, and it was.
It really was. It was great, great to watch. And there's so much love between the teams. Look at this, Fraser McConnell coming up, Laya Sands embracing her. This is a new team, a new challenge, and I think they mean business.
Desert X Prix winners, Acciona Science, Fraser McConnell and Laya Sands. Mega. What's that going to do to the standings, Jenny? I've already got my standings hat on. I'm just thinking about it. Where, and of course, the 2 bonus points have gone outside of the championship regulars. RXR were leading by 9 points last time, but we'll get someone who's got a computer to do some adding up. We're going to go down to Laura Winter, who I think is with our P2 drivers, I believe.
Faster. Yeah.
It is.
Hey, guys.
Well, here we go then, second place, a jubilant Andretti. Katie Mullins has just tried to put Timmy on her shoulders. It didn't quite work. You both ended up on the ground. I'm going to come to you first, Timmy. A brilliant start. You put the car in just the right position, but how tough was that battle off the start?
It was tough because my plan was not to do what I did, but I just had too good of a launch, and I didn't see anyone. So my plan wasn't actually to have the best launch. I thought that Fras would have the better one, but yeah, and he managed to get by me, and I managed to stay in second position. Then from there on, I think me and Prix had maybe a silent agreement. We'll push as fast as we possibly can to give our teammates a good head start. And I tried my best to close the gap, but it was so bumpy and so dusty in that final. But yeah, I was just happy to come in with a close gap and hand over.
Let's get Katie, and yeah, Katie, brilliant stuff. You were closing that gap on Laia. Take us into the driver's seat. What was that battle like?
Yeah, I mean, Laia's a fantastic driver. I've had many battles with her on track. She's so hard to pass. But yeah, credit to her, credit to the team. Happy to start the season this way.
Oh, it's so good to see you guys smiling. Go, enjoy the podium every second of it. Well done, Andretti.
Fantastic stuff. You can see how pleased they are, aren't they, that they are back on the pace. Andretti Autokila back in the mix this year. They haven't had a win since Greenland, wasn't it? Was that season
July.
1? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was. So, yeah, some work.
Right, let's see from our winners.
Yeah, go on. Sorry, Jenny.
No, you go for it.
We're going to go to Laura Winter with our winners.
Congratulations, Acciona Sainz. A win here as Fraz puts on his sunglasses. Laura, I'm going to come to you. You had Katie in your mirrors all over the back of the car. What a superb defence. Talk us through it.
Yeah, Katie's been super strong. Congrats to them also. They've been doing a great job. But I think also Fraser and me, yes, all the weekend, we took the revenge a little bit from yesterday. We were with the opposite strategy, so today it works very well. Fraser did an amazing job. I'm also proud about myself, especially in the final. I did some improvement, so happy, especially for the team. After how we finished in Chile, it's so nice to test the victory feeling.
Means a lot to you, right?
Yeah, especially for the guys that they did an amazing job this weekend, trying to improve the car every hit we did. So happy for all of us.
That's a great start from you as well. Talk us through that.
No, it's incredible. It was a bit of chipping and changing the strategy. You know, so many people were winning the starts from different lines. But, you know, in the end, thankfully, big up everybody for making us win the grid play. So we had the choice of all the grids, and, you know, I'd started in position 4 twice and wanted to start twice. So I didn't want to overthink it, went back to the same game plan and, you know, just trusted my instincts, trusted the team, and, you know, was able to hand over the car to Laia with some advantage, and, you know, she did so incredible to bring it home. So thankful to be here, so thankful for Carlos, QEV, Acciona, Red Bull, Sparco. You know, everybody involved is making this so, you know, like a dream come true. So enjoying it, and it's a good feeling from yesterday's ending.
What a debut for you two as a duo for Acciona Sainz. Go and enjoy that podium. Congratulations, first place.
I think Fraser's quite pleased. There's the team boss, Carlos Sainz, Acciona Sainz, the winners of round 2. We're going to take a look back at the start. So McConnell on the inside, just in front of Timmy. Timmy then was having a little scrap in behind. Where's the huge jump? That's the huge jump. My goodness me. And it just, the left-hand side of that jump just kicks a little bit differently to the right. Christine GZ, I think you're still with us on site. What a good final again. What a great performance by the Acciona Sainz pair.
Incredible, and I'm so happy for them. They really were, I think they were super strong this weekend, and they kind of had a bad luck yesterday, so I think it was the right thing today to happen. And I mean, they've all been really strong, and in the end it's amazing. It's amazing to see them, and of course for me, you know, it's Spanish friends, so it's cool to see them there.
Go Team Spain, go Team Spain. Yeah, amazing, brilliant stuff. GZ, can we just say a big thank you to you and Patrick O'Donovan from me and Jenny Gow particularly for standing in for Jenny. She's had a sore throat all weekend. She's battled on through it, but we'd like to thank both of you for taking time out as your job as championship drivers to join us on commentary. Thank you. Safe journey home.
Thank you guys, it was super fun. Big hug to Jenny, get better.
There we go. Thank you, Christine GZ. Wonderful pairing, her and Patrick, and a wonderful pairing here. The winners, Acciona Sainz. Tying the flags around their belts, and I know how much that will mean to Fraser McConnell, proudly representing Jamaica, and of course, Laia Sanz proudly representing Spain.
In third place, Ion Veloce Racing. In second place, Andretti Autokila Extreme. Congratulations to all of our winners and their teams. Our dignitaries will now present the trophies. Anwar Al-Arifi, Assistant Minister for Sport Affairs at the Ministry of Sport, will now present the winning team trophy.
Look at those fantastic trophies. Carlos Sainz picking up the winning team trophy. Great stuff. All smiles. Matthias Ekstrom departed, of course, for McLaren. He picked up Fraser McConnell, who had departed X44. And just brilliant to see the performance that Sands and McConnell have had. Remember, that's a brand new team this weekend. They won't have had much chance to spend some time together. Lai will have been competing in the Dakar. Franz has been competing in Nitrocross, and they've come together this weekend, just gelled as a team straight away, and they've got the job done. And yesterday, were it not for Franz's little half roll, I reckon they could have been in the mix then as well. He's closing that gap down, might have had a podium. So I think it's a fourth and a first for Acciona Sainz and a fourth and a first for RXR. But RXR, of course, will have had more points from qualifying each day, so should have a lead of a couple of points by my very quick maths. Trophies there for Andretti Altequila as well. Great stuff for them. Katie Mullings back with the confidence. Jenny Gow's doing frantic maths next to me. You think there's 2 points in it? Yeah, that's what I reckon. There'd be those 2 points for the session wins, because Sainz have won a session each and RXR have won 4 sessions in qualifying. There, up goes the trophy. So now Franz is going to have to teach Laia Sands, the Jamaican pointer, the famous Jamaican pointer, the runner. What's his name? Come on, Usain Bolt. That's the one. Work, memory, work. It's been a long weekend. The Usain Bolt point. There will at some point be Fraser McConnell teaching Laia Sands how to do it. Of course, Christine Gutierrez is also Spanish, so they're very good at the Jamaican point, which is great. But I'm so pleased to see a new pairing on top. I'm so pleased to see so many teams at such a competitive pace. Carlos Sainz, look at that. He looks really genuinely pleased as he has a little wander off into the desert. Hugs all round. The dignitaries super pleased for him as well. There we go, and a big hug for Fraser McConnell, his new driver, and for Laia Sands too. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Up for the podium pictures now. Molly Taylor and Kevin Hansen doing a fantastic job for Ion Veloce. I'm looking back at yesterday's results. Of course, Ion Veloce have been P3 both days, so a pair of podiums for Ion Veloce. Good job by them. Neil McLaren missing the final today. Andretti Altequila making it, so it is topsy-turvy in terms of which of the teams are able to take it. And as we were discussing during that final, if each of those teams misses out just a little bit, then we're going to find ourselves in a situation where this is going to be very tight as the year goes on. Championship standings for you after round 2 of Extreme E. 41 points for Rosberg X Racing, and in P2 it is Acciona Sainz on 39. 2 points. That is the difference of those 2 qualifying sessions. It was 9 points the gap yesterday, been closed right down. 33 for Ion Veloce with their 2 P3s. 31 for Andretti Altequila, 30 for Neil McLaren. Those are the 5 teams which are really in the mix at the moment. Legacy Motor Club, what a brilliant debut. They win 2 points today just for the Continental Traction Challenge, where Ledbetter and Pastrana were absolutely on fire. Sun Mini Meal on 10 equal with JBXE as well, and those teams I know will work hard to get themselves in the mix. Then we're really going to see a scrap on our hands, because you have to have such a good run in qualifying now in Extreme E to get yourself into the final, and then come the final, you've got to throw it down big time. Now, we do have quite a gap until the next round, I have to say. So you're going to have... There it is. Come on, there it is. She knows already. Come on, Carlos. Come on, Carlos. You've got to do the point. Not quite. We'll work on that. We'll work on Carlos Sainz Sr. for the point. I'm sure we can get there. But fantastic. Laia Sands just drew back the bow straight away, didn't she? Boom. She knew exactly how to do it. Fantastic. The whole squad look ecstatic. Brilliant.
Thank you to Saudi Arabia, as well as our teams and drivers. To you at home for watching. We will see you in July.
That's absolutely brilliant, isn't it? Wonderful, wonderful pictures, great emotions. Yesterday, I say, ending the day on their side. Today, ending with a victory. Carlos Sainz steps off the podium. There it is. A little look back at the track, which is pretty heavily rutted after the amount of action we put onto it, and your winners, who are Acciona Sainz, round 2 of the Desert X Prix. Fraz there with a bit of banter with his new team boss. I imagine it's quite overwhelming having Carlos Sainz Sr. as your team boss, knowing what a rally fan Fraser McConnell is. He'll be absolutely loving that. Unbelievable action from the doubleheader to kick off the 2024 season. It's been brilliant. Season 4 of Extreme is underway. Jenny Gow, have you got any words left in you?
It was amazing.
There we go.
I give it everything, and I gave it to you.
Well, thank you very much indeed, Jenny Gow, for joining us. Laura Winter on site, I say Christine GZ, and also Patrick O'Donovan for stepping in and helping out with Jenny and the voice. We'll look forward to rounds 3 and 4. TBC on the location, I think it's July 13th, 14th, if my memory serves me correctly. I cannot wait, because this looks like the final season of Extreme E. Before we go Extreme H, maybe the closest one ever. We will see you soon. Thanks for joining us. Oh, huge jump! Who's at the late? He waves at Timo Scheider. Oh, contact between them. Side by side, over the jump. Oh, a little bit of contact up on 2 wheels for both cars. Hell of a race. Whoa, 2 wheels, contact. Dani Ricciardo goes straight over in the JBXC machine. Almost on the nose.